Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, free financial help, ladies and gentlemen, grants. Improve your credit, clear your debt, just like you're a wealthy person. We have a lot to talk about, and welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who we're out here trying to help. There's a lot of people that could be getting lots of help if you share this video, because who else wouldn't want free financial help, grants, clearing debt? There's a way to do it without filing bankruptcy and without going into debt collections. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the 1 year, 3 month plan, which means December 2026, you need a credit score of 775. That's right. So if you go along with that agenda, then you now understand why we need to do this first. So now make sure other people know. First things first, we make this very simple for you. You can go get your free financial help, meaning grants and other things. You can go to findhelp.org. It's that simple. I'll put it in the chat room so nobody has an excuse. Whoever watches this on replay will have it as well. So findhelp.org, ladies and gentlemen. All right. www.findhelp.org. And I probably should put this in all the way, right? Because, sometimes you can't. I don't want anybody to have any problems. There it is. So all platforms, you guys have it, including you can hear me on the podcast. So the podcast players, all of you can just go to findhelp.org. Now, I haven't done this in a while, so we're going to make it very simple, right? Findhelp.org. I'll just go there. I'm going to put it up on the screen so then people can actually just see it. So then that way they'll know they're at the proper place and proper location. Here it is. Anybody here in the chat room tonight? Let's put in one of your zip codes. I won't put in one of mine. I'll just put in one of your zip codes. So let me hear from somebody in the comment section. Put in a zip code, and you have to be in the United States. And you will see there's plenty of help around this country in cities and for states and counties. Your zip code does matter. Some states get more. 19144. Thank you so much, DIM pals. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Another investors in the house. And his tagline was simply the zip code 19144. And I'm going to add this to the screen so everybody can see it. So you guys can see it's very, very simple. Zip code. That's all it asks for. Let's go. 19144. Let's go see. 19144. Or is that it? Let me go. I have to switch screens. So let me double check. 19144. That is it. Then I hit the search button. Look at this. Hold on a second. Let's go back to the beginning. Look here. Find free or reduced cost resources for food, housing. You guys see this? Financial assistance, healthcare, and more. That's right. You see that? So we're going to go to the wherever zip code 19144 is, and it seems to be limited. but it's transit. Help pay for transit, all 63. Look at this, bus passes, help pay for a car, help pay for gas. I know some of you would be like, hold on, Eric, click on this help pay for car. That's right, down payment help. Uh-oh, we might have a problem. We'll see if my computer will allow me to go over here. But hey, we're going to see in a second. But let me know what you guys think. Send DM pals. Glad to see you once again. Very, very happy. So, oh, we got a problem. It's going to take a few minutes. Okay, fine. Take a few minutes. I'll take that off for a second as it gets there because it's doing some checks. But everybody can go to findhelp.org. And you saw exactly, why is this taking forever? Um, Reviewing my security of my connection before proceeding. Verifying you are human. This is crazy. But anyhow, this is just my issue. It's taken a long, sweet time. But nonetheless, for everybody else, it probably just goes there directly. But you could see easily under the transit, and I wanted to show other things as well. And again, it's taking its sweet time. So maybe I'll pull up another one. Waiting for Find Help to, oh, verification finally successful. Geesh, what were these guys doing over here? All right, back to the situation because we're out here, people. That's what we do here in these. What's going on? We have a little problem. Yay. All right. So I just went and I clicked on nothing, but what came up first? Reviewed on 9/17. Good. Veteran Financial Assistance Program. Oh, nice. Emergency financial assistance, critical financial assistance. There's an 800 number. All these are different, but they say help pay for food, help pay for healthcare, help pay for housing, help pay for utilities, help pay for cars, help pay for child care, which is an arm and a leg. All of this urgent need program, Blood Cancer United, emergency payments, help pay for food, housing, help pay for car. Okay. Financial assistance, help pay for, oh man, all kinds are on that zip code. Where is it? Add to the scene, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. This is what I was looking at. Here we go. This is in the 19144 area, and that's as simple as you do. You just put in the help. So, veteran financial assistance, I was referring to, emergency financial assistance, critical financial assistance, urgent need. Okay, so what I'm going to do is see over here on the right hand side, apply on their site, see next steps. Everybody's different. Apply on their site, see next steps, apply on their site. Contact here from Mobility Freedom, mobility equipped vehicles for U.S. militaries. Life needs financial assistance. Once again, Helping Hands for Freedom, see next steps. Pediatric grants. Pediatrics usually mean children. So that's you as parents would be able to get some assistance for your children. Apply on their site. I'm not going to see what the next steps are for cell therapy. Look at this. This just goes on and on. But I didn't even click on really anything, right? Here's food, which is very interesting. Housing. Look at this. 43. Goods, baby clothes, diapers, formula. Transit is what I actually had at the beginning, but then I went to this page and it took a minute. Health. Again, medications, outpatient treatment, peer recovery, residential treatment, sober living. Look at all this. Look at all of this. Can you guys believe this? This is sitting here freely available to people where you can residential treatment, outpatient treatment, money. That's right. You see this? This is incredible, really. A lot of help pay for phone bill, help pay for utilities, book, clothes for children, financial aid and loans, transportation for school, only one, but nonetheless, transportation for healthcare, prescription assistance, medical supplies. See, a lot of things, care, which is adoptions, parent and foster parenting, adoption counseling, education. There's 20. Work, Check this out. Job placement, supported employment. Sometimes they do free job training. So, in fact, I'm going to click on this right now just in case it shows. Hopefully, we don't have to go through some verification. See, job seekers, see next steps. The Helms Academy, employment services, hospitality training institute, culinary arts, job training. What did I tell you? Job training program. Not available though, temporarily closed. Open door clubhouse, don't know what that is. Mental health program, employment, community based employment, mental health program, employment services. So this is in Philly, major city that could use that. And a lot of people don't realize it's there. You know, there's some people that talk to me sometimes when we were having this discussion about immigrants. And there's a lot of people that would say, oh man, we're not getting treated like immigrants. They get all this free stuff when they come over here. You know what the difference is? When people go through immigration, they already have these resources on a page for them. So when they show up from outside of the country, the attorneys and other people, ordinary citizens who are helping these people, just give it to them. Here in America, our government does not give it to us, just like our government doesn't give it to the immigrants. You need somebody to tell you that it's actually available. That's the whole point. And that's what people miss. They go, oh, they just come here and get all this stuff. Well, see, and they go, well, Americans don't even get that stuff. Well, we do. You just never knew where to really go get the help or the services. It's just, they have the same, not the same thing because they're different. But Americans have all of these services available to them, and the state and federal government does not tell you. A lot of you, legal help. Come on now. Let's get real. We talking Philly. All right. Citizenship and immigration. Look, proves my point. Discrimination and civil rights. Look at this. There's 28. See? So a lot of people say, well, I don't have an attorney. I can't get help. Well, guess what? See next steps. Official visitors. See? There goes immigration. Elderly law project. See? You don't know this exists because this is not something that the state or federal government gives to you. But this is what's available to American citizens. Legal services program, improving quality of life, advocacy, legal aid. This is all here. All you have to do is put in your zip code. So again, you understand this is serious. Caregivers, right? Let me see if they have it in Philly. There's sometimes under care as caregivers, maybe under health. But sober living, abuse counseling, outpatient medications, detox, 12-step, housing. Let's go look here. All kind of things. This is the point. Our closet, neighborhood, free mobile program, basic necessities of food and clothing. See? Residential housing and support. All of this. Perimeter Day Service Center. Nutritious meals for homeless veterans. All right. Let me see who else is in the house. You see the point, ladies and gentlemen. DM Pals brings the tagline. Good evening, boss. Gave the thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. And today bought me a long NVIDIA call and was 6 for 6 in options this week. Not gonna read it once. Not going red once. Oh my, that's pretty awesome, man. 6 for 6 is a beautiful thing. Congratulations, man. Doing the thing. I've been studying. I did not run the options last night because remember I told you guys I took an L and I forgot about my delay, and I can't believe that I use Coinbase when I'm loading. And I can't believe they made me wait until the 24th midnight. I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I said, okay, fine. I can learn some more and be even more powerful next Thursday night. So I said, all right, I'll wait. So we'll see what happens. Next Friday, I'll be talking about the Forex once again. So very happy that you're winning, man. And everybody in the stock market, you guys should also be prepared to win because record highs, you have to be in the index funds, SPY, QQQ. Why not? VOO, VOOG, VTI, that's the Vanguard group. Index funds. You guys should be in all of this. A little bit of crypto as well. It's now back up to 117. So some people dismiss it. I had to explain, my cousin watching, I love you, man. Thank you so much. I had to tell him. He goes, man, I got to buy all this Bitcoin, and I and it's what good's it going to be if I spend 50,000, 60, 100,000, and it goes up to 110? I said, hold on, it's relative. You don't have to do that. If it goes from 100,000 and you bought $100 worth of it, and it goes up to 125,000, that's 25%. It goes up to your dollar price of 125, 25%. Who's not going to like 25% annually? That is the average Bitcoin goes up. So this is the whole point. So post retirement travel, Mr. Retirement, Mr. Worldwide is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Man, he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this on Payday Friday. That's right. He's doing the salsa dance. That's right. There's several paydays for dividend funds every Friday. It's not just the Yield Max ETFs. There's others. Defiance Group is another. You can keep receiving dividends every Friday, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do here. And if you still have not gotten your, oh my, let me see what's going on. I didn't do something here. But anyhow, I'm about to drop some things down below in the description box for you. All right. First things first, since we're talking about grants. And then I did mention Forex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop everything down below in the description box, not in the chat room, but in the description box in about 30 seconds. And then you might have to refresh your page or whatever to get to that description box. But I'm having a little problem here because I had a live stream that was doing the countdown from 10 minutes to 0, and then it started messing up. So then I just canceled it. Luckily, something told me to do the 10-minute countdown today, because otherwise it would have been happening when I actually started the live stream officially while I'm talking, and would have had to cancel and restart. So it's a good thing it didn't happen. But I'm having a problem right now because the new live stream isn't showing up in my back office, so I can't add anything to it just yet. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. All right. We're here, ladies and gentlemen. So everything is here for you. I'll have the link for Find Help. You'll find out that if you have mental health, or somebody has mental health that you may know that needs a little help, you can always go 211 on your phone, or 211.org to find somebody in your area, just like findhelp.org has the same thing. Under your zip code, mental health is also there under the health organizations, just like caregiving is also there if you need help with that. So once again, down below in the description box, a lot of things are happening because you want to get out of debt. Okay, that's another thing. Caregivers, 211.org. All right, just so you guys know, if you need a caregiving help, caregivers help with that, 211.org. The other thing, let's just go down the list. I'm going to get into some things first because I know we have some people that's in the chat room talking tonight. Here we go. Can someone throw some cold water on the stock market? We are tired of winning. I'm not tired of winning. No, we're not tired. In fact, we already done called it. It's a rocket ship ride, but get the blue chip stuff. I know there's going to be some IPOs that come out. I know there's going to be obviously some stocks that go from $3 to $50 or $30 and do, 10x and all that. But put that on the outside. All right. Think about the blue chip stocks. That's why the stock market rises, because the big time blue chips are rising. So that's how we get all-time record highs. They get to refinance their loans right now. Basically almost 0.25%, maybe even 0.5% down internally with the Federal Reserve or with banks or whoever their bank is. So that gives them an advantage. You have to have wealth. This isn't for the ordinary citizens. You don't get nothing except a decrease in your CD or a decrease in your savings account or anything that does market checking accounts. You're getting it reduced, by the way. You're not going to have that 5% anymore. That would be unlikely. 4.75 unlikely. 4.5 unlikely. So probably 4%, 3.75, there's going to be a fluctuation. This has nothing to do with mortgage rates, even though they like to coincide it with going down. But you may find something interesting because the bond rate is rising, because the United States has to offer a higher rate to get people around the world to invest in bonds so we can print money. Mortgage rates go by bond rates. See, that's where the problem comes in. So you can't just willy nilly just go, yeah, we're going to cut the rate and allow the rich people to refi and do all their crazy stuff. They can go out and buy more wealth now, right? Because their asset value increased. So now, instead of them having to, I'll use an example, instead of them having to have a loan for 4.25, they could potentially have a loan for 3.75. Do you understand if somebody's talking about $10 million or $100 million? You do understand a half a point or a quarter point refied saves them millions of dollars per year. And in a 10 million case, it'll save them hundreds of thousands of dollars per year that's now going to be in their pocket for nothing. But if that's not you, it's not doing you any good. Just saying. All right. You guys got to understand how this works. All right. Guess who's in the house, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Law of Compensation, formerly Mr. Compensation, is here. And you guys know you can see everybody's profile pic right here. Post retirement travel, Law of Compensation. You see their profile. Click on the profile, you guys. Go over, show some love by subscribing. Click the all notification bell. Now, the SSN family is here with Mr. Law of Compensation. And I've been seeing you, man. I like what you're doing out there. I saw those. You know what I'm talking about. I saw those. Don't worry. I got you on Instagram too. You know that. I got you on TikTok too. You know that. I got you on YouTube too. You know that. All right. That's what we have to do out here. Help our fellow investors, our fellow business people. Show some love. It's the easiest thing you can do is click the check box or the heart button or the like button. That doesn't even cost anybody anything. The subscribe button, it's all free. That shows a little level of support. We need more people helping other people. That's right. Let's go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep moving, shall we? Now, we were getting to the second phase of this. And there's the first phase too. If you want to find out more about grants, down below in the description box, let me see if I'm going to hold on. Let me check and see. You're going to want to go to Let's Go Helps. That's exactly right. Let's Go Help. Matthew Lesko, the guy that's been wearing the question mark suit for 45 plus years. You might want to go check out the group. I'm in the group. In fact, tonight may be the night because you guys know it's story night. You guys know it's story night on Friday nights, right? Okay. Well, let's go over. Let me see something because I got to check and I never have. I just got to check. Let me go check something. Let's go help.com. But down below in the description box, I already put something in. I'm also going to put this in here because the people in the group at Let's Go Help, they actually do not support commenting from what? Oh my. Okay. What is this commenting stuff? What are you talking about right now? Okay, let's do it this way. Oh, the heart thing. Maybe that was it. Okay, here we go. I put it in a few different ways so people can see that. Now, that's Let's Go Help, ladies and gentlemen. All right. You'll see a video come on, all these things. I'm not sharing the screen, right? I'm actually, you might hear some things in the background. It's on mute, it looks like. I'm going to probably log in. Actually, not probably. I am going to log in right now. Yeah, he's been on Leno, Oprah, Letterman. You guys might have seen him. And he used to do late night and probably still does late night infomercials. All right. Well, this will take a second. All right. But I don't think I missed out anything. Oh, food. I forgot there is food in Philly uh, that people can get free food. So when people say you have to go to the church or whatever, it's fine. But oftentimes churches do have food, but in this case, housing and support by Dawn's provide safe, non-judgmental environment for women affected by commercial sexual exploitation or sex trafficking. So this is under, I thought this was under food, but I don't know what it's under, but some people need that type of help, right? Perimeter Day Service Center, VMC, provides hot, nutritious meals for homeless veterans. So no veterans should be homeless in the Philly area. Bridge House Transitional has to do with people coming out of shelters. So that's another thing. So I must have not clicked on the food. Shelter plus care. Okay, plenty of that. Achieving independence, help, nursing home transition services, long-term care, assist residents of long-term care facilities who are interested in living independently. Transition. Okay, a lot of different things. Affordable rental apartments, which I don't know what that means. But all ages, families, low income, limited, could be low income. But nonetheless, if you are down on your luck, there's 44 pages of this, so I'm not going to keep going. But if you're down on your luck, this is what you need. Now, I'm going to see about this math. What's going on here? My computer's running awfully slow, probably because I have way too many things open. Way too many things open. Clearly. All right. Let's do some things. I gotta do some downsizing. Browsers, way too many open, including I have to get off of this findhelp.org. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, just keep in mind, this is what we do. Let's go. Exactly. Let's go. 100%. That's what we're doing out here now, ladies and gentlemen. Rocking and rolling. Your health is your wealth. So make sure that you take care of your health. While this is working in the background, I'm going to move to number 2. And you know what number 2 is? Part of our program for 1 year, 3 months, reducing your debt. Some people are still unfamiliar with what the big boys get away with. They have loans, 10-year interest only notes. 10 years are paying interest only for millions of dollars. Then at the end of 10 years, they would start claiming at 9 years and a half, start claiming, well, I don't have enough money. I'm not going to be able to pay the principal plus the interest starting now. Can we negotiate something? And then they'll say something like, yeah, why not? We might add a point, but okay. How about we just extend you 5 years? Do you get this, ladies and gentlemen? Doubtful. They do, though. So you're asking, how does the wealthy get wealthier? These are the steps that they do amongst about 15 others. But this gives them a big leg up because this would just like you having a car and the car cost $100,000, but you have an interest only loan for 7 years, right? At 5%, $5,000 a year. So you'll be paying $450 a year, roughly. I mean, $450 a month, right? For a year while you have $100,000 car. At the end of the 7 years, you say, hey, man, I really can't afford to pay that plus the principal. And they say, oh, don't worry, Eric. We'll give you an extra 3 years of interest only. Just keep paying the interest only. We're good. Who cares? Hey, we're good. As long as you keep paying that. Would that not give you a huge advantage? You still owe the 100, yes. But in the meantime, you have use of something that you're only paying $450 a month for. Doesn't that seem like an advantage? It seems like one to me. So you want to be in that same situation, right? Then you go see our girl, tracy.sharpe, SHARPE dot, no, Tracy, TRACY, dot sharpe, SHARPE, at moneyladder.com. That's right. She has changed from Resolve, but now it's Money Ladder. It's okay. I'm going to put it in the chat room. Let her know you're from the SSN Nation. Let her know Eric sent you. The family sent you. Just say the family. SSN Nation sent me. She'll know Eric sent me, whatever. The point is, you got to say family. All right? She knows who we are. She knows who you are. All right? She's family. So that's what she does. She is part of the SSN Nation bloodline. She actually helps people. That's what we do. All right. Rising tides lifts all boats. Let's go. All right. So you seen Matthew? Let me see if I can log in yet. Oh yeah, looks like we're gonna log in. Let me see if I have it. I haven't really paid attention to the back office because I don't really think there's. I mean, I'm gonna double check because there's so much in when the screen comes up that I've never really paid attention to see if there's certain names or something that I can't show. Uh, mm, I, I don't see anything here. I mean, I'll just here. Let's do it. Oh, let's do it this way. All right, here we go. Show you a little of the back office. Here's just very simple. This is community notes when you sign in, right? So look, Q&A with Sabrina, special session. They do live streams. Like there'll be a live stream like an hour from now, probably. There's a calendar too. So they have live streams. People talk. You can ask questions, but it's not always about grants. It's just about helping people on different levels. Here we go. Apply for the October 15th Let's Go car repair. Because if you're a member, it does cost to be a member. They have a monthly or every week drawing for something. Another grant giveaway October 4th happened. One happened October 15th. Here goes some August giveaway grant winners. July grants, rent, 5K, 25K mortgage, 10 seat. This is all within the membership that it does cost to be in this group, right? So that's what I wanted to show you right now. The other thing is, like I said, I'll probably, oh, I didn't show you. This is it right here. Say, look, here goes a video, an action plan for your nonprofit with Megan and Sabrina. So they talk about it. They help you do your nonprofit. So Q&A live with a person named Tony is at 9:30 p.m. apparently tonight Eastern time. It already started apparently. But here's the grants I was just referring to. Um, Say July grants 5K, rent 25K, mortgage 10K, medical and all that. Apply for the September 30th, 2025, win a free, whatever. Let me see. Is there anything else I could show you? No, I'm not going to show you anything else right now. Because again, I haven't looked through here, but I'm going to show you something else that's very, very cool in a second. It is awesome. All right. So this is big time help that a lot of people do not know exists. But if you want to be with Let's Go Helps, and that's where Tracy's email address is. You can see it on the screen now. Everybody on the podcast, again, is TRACY dot S as in Sam, HRP as in Paul, E at moneyladder.com. Hit her up. Let her know, hey, I got debt problems. And now they'll try to get you out of that in 1.5 to 2.5 years. So your credit will be good without filing bankruptcy, without having debt collections on your report. And at the end of that, it comes out saying paid off accordingly or everything is good. There won't be the negative that you would have with debt collections or filing bankruptcy. So therefore, you'll be way ahead. But for that 1.5 years to 2.5 years, you're not going to be getting credit. All right. That's your block. Don't do it. All right. We need a 775 credit score by December 2026. All right. That's what you need. There's already some things happening for people with 750s, 725s, even interest only loans or interest only for 18 months. That's the standard now. But we want you at 775. There's a reason because it won't just be 18 months. It won't just be 20. Well, there's 21 months now, too. It'll be 24 or 30. So you want to be in that 2 to 3 year range where you're paying interest only anytime you use your credit card. That's why I'm telling you to get it on board now. You can already take advantage now of already the 18-month things. And guess what? In 18 months, your credit score would improve and you would still have an interest only card right now for 18 months, a year and a half. So that would be great. All right. Just letting you know. So this is where we're going. We're trying to make sure you're on top of it because people do not understand the snowball that's rolling downhill quietly because we have a government and we have sycophants in a government. We even have CEOs of corporations who are going with this narrative talking about everything is all good. I cannot even believe what Tim Cook was coming out with. He said, we don't have the Apple products do not cost more because of tariffs. I was like, are you what are you saying right now? We all know you have iPhones made in China. What are you saying right now? You have parts made in China. You have to import them. That's why you put on a plane two 747 planes, iPhones, before the tariffs war started. So you can ship them into America without the tariffs. Now, what are you saying? He's saying, oh, our prices went up, but it's not because of the tariffs. I'm like, dude, what are you doing right now? This is the kind of nonsense that we have out here. These are leaders of corporations, CEOs, who are out here lying to people. I'm like, this is insane. They're not manufactured in America. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And they can't get all their products bypassed from the tariffs because they want to give 15% to a communist regime that we have in America right now. They can't. I mean, this is absurd what's happening. They even agreed to that is ridiculous as well. Good God. So they didn't want to stick up for their workers. They didn't want to stick up for the businesses that thrive and survive off of their business. Remember, Apple is a company that has orders for other corporations that make millions of dollars from Apple supplies, the suppliers to Apple. All right. Then you have people who, hey, they have a transportation contract, the shipping contract. All those people are getting screwed. I mean, this is absurd what's happening right now. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. When you don't have a lot of guys that have heart and don't want to fight the government, this is what starts happening. So now the citizens pay more for Apple products while this guy lies. And you're supposed to be like, yum, yum, give me more. Luckily, I don't F with Apple. So I'm just going to let you know. I have a policy. Anytime somebody restricts people, ordinary citizens, from being able to have the freedom, back in the 80s, Apple had a policy. They didn't want to give out their software, right? They want to keep it in house. They've done that for the whole time. And the problem is people don't know history. That little scenario did not work because in the 90s, people do not love Bill Gates. But guess what happened? Bill Gates could have been just like a lot of business people that said, you know what? We win. Apple, you can go out of business. Our Windows is going to be number one. But he gave Apple a loan so they could fricking stay in business because he said, what good is it going to be if I'm the only one? Because the competition actually makes both of us better. How much of a foresight do you have to see to give somebody hundreds of millions of dollars to make sure they don't go under? And the rest is history. So this little reprieve that they got, you got a guy 30 years later that just does this sycophant BS stuff going, we don't, the government doesn't charge us any more money, but we're going to charge you more money. I'm like, dude, what are you saying right now? So if they're not, if tariffs aren't hurting you, then why are we paying more for phones at any point in time? This is insanity right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what world we're living in, a communist country we're turning into. This is just sad. But anyhow, I digress. Let's get on with the more important situations. Here we go. Eric, got a call from Conorock today. They'll start calling owners 15 December to lock in closing dates. I knew it. June 2026. I keep saying it. All right. Closing dates. Also, we're now getting 3. Oh my, they must have been listening because I don't know who in the world thought 30 something inch screen, flat screens was a thing. I don't know who thought a 40 something flat screen was a thing. Finally, 55 inches. Post-retirement travel, I'm very happy for you and Connor Rock owners because that BS they were doing, making people have these little flat screens in today's environment, I'm happy you're getting 55s. All 3, not just the one in the living room, and then they put the freaking 40-something in the bedrooms. 55s, I can deal with 55. 65 in this day and age would be better. But as you guys know, that is a beautiful thing. All right, let's go. Also, we're now getting three 55-inch TVs. That's one less furniture expense for us. Okay, that's a good idea. I never really thought about it. Everybody doesn't get TVs, I guess, which is a very interesting thing when they get their uh, deliveries because it's very strange. I never thought about it. I know we got the ACUs, the white line, which is the kitchen. Yeah, that's right. That did save you. Saved you about, I don't know, 600-700 bucks. 55s, well, maybe 1,000. All right. So, but anyhow, that's like savings regardless. 1,000 to 1,500 is still a savings that you don't have to buy, which is a great, 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 great thing. But don't you guys have yours furnished already? So that means the TVs is a great thing for you guys. That's awesome, man. So yes, I expected the end of December to give you closing roughly dates, and so this will get us into 2026. And again, I still think it's delivery date of June, July, summer 2026. But this is great news. Next year, less than 9 months, you'll be in. That's beautiful, man. A long, long time wait. So it's going to be very interesting over this next year. What's going to happen, as you very well know, people are going to need to pay close attention. All right, 55-inch flat TVs are standard. That's what we have in Margaritaville Cottage. Trust me, they are big enough. Yeah, they're big enough. They're big enough. That's what I said. I always have this pet peeve of why do they give these people 36 inches or 42 or 45? I was like, what is that in a living room? Who does that? And who does that in a bedroom too? I'm like, who does that? It should be 55 if you're doing rentals. That's the minimum size you should do. You should never do smaller than 55-inch. That's against the rules, by the way. Just saying. All right, hold on. While we're having a little bit of fun, let's go. Let me go in here somewhere. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Hold on. I thought it was easy to find because I just hold on a second. No, I don't want the grant. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Here we go. Help now corner. That's what I need. Help now corner, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go. Here we go. Look, all of this in the background. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. See this right here? Home and housing help. Start my business. Pay debt. Some healthcare. Launch a nonprofit. Look at that. Boost your career. Find better jobs. All of this. So, again, um, I'll just go down here. Pay my debts and bills. Here we go. Learn how to get companies forgive your debt bills. Lesson 2. See all these things? How to get started with free financial counselor appointment. Look at that. Look at this. You guys see what's on the screen, right? Let me see if this is big. Yeah, you guys can see it. See what's on the screen? Look at this. 10 key organizations to find debt relief. Look at that. Or you can just hit up tracy.sharpe at moneyladder.com. Links down below in the description box. I think I put it in the chat as well. Yes, I did. So it's there as well. But look at this. Pay my debt. Okay. Rent and mortgage help. Utilities assistance. Okay. You guys see this, right? All of this is available if you're a member, of course. Just saying. Contact these 10 key organizations to find grants. Okay. But there's a lot of people here. So I just wanted to let you know. Lots of people here. I'm going to take this off the screen because I'm actually looking for something else too, which would trip you guys out. If I could find it. There's so much stuff back here. It's so much help too. I want to see if I can't find the chat. I'm looking for the chat. That's what I'm looking for. Or message. I don't want the welcome message. Maybe it's here. Okay. Well, you guys get the gist of the idea, right? So what I'll do is this right here as well. Oh, hold on. I just messed up. Okay. I gotta get back there. Okay. I messed up, but it's all right. Check this out. I'll do this so you guys can see. Matthew Lesko. You see what he looks like, right? Live weekly calls tomorrow, tonight. Q&A with Tony, 9:30 p.m. Already started. All kind of things are here, and it's worth paying $60 for a year because you'll get tons of help. All right, that's what it costs. Anyhow, I'm gonna get out of that. So next time, next Friday, you guys, I'll actually find the chat room where you can see where people are asking for help, and then they just come in and say, "Here, this is what's not on findhelp.org." So that's major as well. So that's what we want. All right, let's go. Good news for post retirement travel. And again, clearing your debt. You've already talked about it. I've talked about it. That's how you do it. Now, let's get into the other factors. Improve your credit scores. How can you do that? Down below in the description box, I do have self, and that's credit. It gives you installment trade lines. And then while you're doing your installment repay backs, then you can use some of that money to get you a secured credit card. That helps you build your credit, get more on time payments, and helps you get installment and the other type of trade line that you'll need, revolving. All right, then we have Credit Strong, which everybody may have heard of in the past. No hard inquiry. Well, they have hard inquiry now. I don't know why I have that. But again, you can get the installment. They too have the credit card now. All right, where you can get a secured credit card. So you can use both of those, and you can get two credit cards with revolving credit and two installment trade lines. It does cost, but at least you can improve your credit score. Then what do? You guys know smartcredit.com monitors your credit and also helps you build credit because, again, as I started at the outset, it tells you which time of the month is the best day to pay your bill. So your credit score can go up. That's right. It matters because every day, most credit cards charge you every day a small percentage of interest. So if you can eliminate the amount, you lower the amount before the end of the month, obviously that raises your credit score or your credit score. So these are the type of things that you have going on that you can take advantage of. Smart credit also down below in the description box. All right. So don't worry about any of that. We have you. We got a little help for you right there. I'll put the link in the chat room. All right. So you're getting everything you need to make sure that you can put yourself in position to win, right? That's what we have to talk about. That's the number one goal here because there's going to be a crash of some sort. Sooner or later, you can't keep faking like everything's fine when the underlying road is crumbling. All right. Sooner or later, a huge pothole will emerge and you're all going to drop in it. All right. Piling on top of each other. That's not a good thing. All right. Here's the other thing. Let me go. I got to get out of here. Let me turn that off. I don't like leaving that on. Okay. Let's go. Ooh, where are we at? All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the thing. F average, be legendary. You know where to go. StopStrugglingNow.com. That's where it is. You can go pick this up and many others along the way. When are you getting back into Forex by yourself? You have a goal date? Yes, next Thursday night for Friday. That's when I'm getting back. Actually, I didn't even want to do anything this week after the Fed did what they did because what they're doing is going against what they should be doing to make things better. So, sure enough, since we're doing gold and things like that, there was no real upward movement for gold, even though there was some pip movement going up, ticks and all that, they're going up. But, it was kind of, meandering. I looked at it through the night and I was like, you know what? I don't even feel right anyhow. But it turned out that I didn't have a choice because I'm going to be doing 24th midnight is when they're going to release my funds from United States company. and then I can send it over on Thursday night and be ready. I'll be ready next week. But remember, September generally has a negative 4% average over the last 20 years, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, it could have went up 10% this year and it could have lost 20% another year. It'll round to be around 4% average, but negative 4%. But so far, there's no negative. I don't think, because we have all-time record highs. So it shouldn't be negative. So we'll see what happens, right? Everything's going to be fine. All right, but my gold date starting again, two bots next Thursday night. Okay, just so everybody understands. Now, I can't take any more L's, but I'm going to be studying more this week because I finally figured out how to short. I finally figured out how to go with the bear market and a bull market and a bear market. I finally realized it was very simple all along. Like I said on Wednesday night live stream, I was like in shock. So anyhow, hold on a second because I got some crosstalk in the background. So what I'm going to do is, oh, don't even have it up. Let me see if I have. Oh, I don't even have it. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I thought I had one of the. No, I guess I don't. Well, that is interesting. I don't have any SSN lifestyle promo video to play. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I was going to do that because I got to get some crosstalk in the background covered. Hold on a second. Nope, can't find it. That's not good. Not good at all. How did that happen? Okay, we'll find out why it happened shortly. But nonetheless, all right. So what I'm going to do is, no, it's not here. No, what a bummer. All right, fine, 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 fine. Okay, so let's see here. Might have something. Nope, that's investors forum. Oh, Grand Canyon. Okay, here goes a Grand Canyon one. This will work. All right, this is funny. All right, but yeah, I'm not gonna be doing anything. But now I don't like taking L's. I like to be a little more in control. Okay, we're making history this month, September, blowing previous years out of the water. Exactly. This is going to be one for the ages because they're doing something to enhance them dumping money in that allows the rich guys to dump money, buybacks. Everything is a perfect storm. Tax cut, tax breaks for the rich, less taxes for the rich. That means they can use money to buy back their shares or use it for a bunch of things. Invest in other companies that's also on the stock market. So it's bringing trillions of dollars into the stock market, which means stock market prices are going up for the top maybe 100 companies, right? And it brings along some of the other ones that are in the bottom 500 because those get bought out. Those get additional stock buy-ins from the big boys at the top to be partnered with. There's a bunch of things going on that moves the market up, but it's not natural. That's the problem. So we're going to find out how this all shakes out. Again, you got 1 year, 3 months is what I'm saying. But yes, this is going to be one for the ages. Like we told you before, you're going to have the ride of your life and you have to be in the game. If you're not in the game, you're going to take L's. It's that simple. You don't get to have reprieves. This is not going to be another reprieve. This is going to be something dangerous in 2027, 2028. It's going to be very dangerous. So you better have your assets locked down. You know what? I got to tell you guys a story, but hold on a second. Just a minute. All right. This is funny. This is so wacky, so funny. Let me see if this works. What is that? What is this? Oh, this is the one. Oh, it didn't. Oh, that's messed up. It didn't load. That was a clip. It didn't load, though. That's messed up. Why didn't it load? All right. So I guess I might as well just say it right now. But here's the thing. Around the corner from where I'm staying, I just went to go see some houses that were basically big as my former one of my former homes, and in the price ranges 3,500 Toll Brothers house, square feet, one level, fourth up to 4,000 one level homes in Summerlin, Las Vegas. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Can you believe $2 million? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Upscale luxury with an amenity center is now what they're calling clubhouses. Oh, this is rich. Amenity center. I was like, okay, what are we talking about? Oh, we have a pool, a lap pool. I'm like, okay, we have uh, cabanas and seating area. I'm just like, isn't this like a normal clubhouse of a place? But no, it's an amenity center up here because you're paying $2 million for these homes. The way they have them furnished is off the charts. It would probably cost an additional $200,000 to $300,000 for the way they're furnished. But most people don't realize when they buy it, it's white walls. It's like you're not going to have all this color in here like this. You got white walls. You're not going to have the colors on the ceilings. You're not going to have a different color walls unless you're going to pay them to do it. So $2 million, 3,400 to 4,000 square foot single story homes. They're badass though. They're badass. But $2 million in Nevada. Yes, you heard me. Unbelievable. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back.
Come on, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're new here, yes, I used to play poker for real. Yeah, with the big boys. Traveling around the world, doing our thing. Uh, and you saw that with some Playboy action, Playboy party with the poker. Uh, in fact, celebrity poker tournament. In fact, is this particular one here. And yeah, I was at the final table. Yeah. Uh, all in, 9 people left. And something like ace 10 is what I had. I shove all in. Some dude calls me with ace 3. And people would say, was it suited or not? No, I was suited, which made it even better for me. But he had ace 3 offsuit, meaning a red card and a black card. I can't remember what are the diamonds or hearts or whatever. It was just red and black. And I'm thinking, oh, this is nice. Ace 10 versus ace 3. He's limited with outs at all. But of course, the 3 comes up. And he had me covered. So that's when I was busting out, and you saw the guy, David Singer, worked for, well, not worked. He was a professional player for Full Tilt Poker. He was a sponsored player at Full Tilt Poker. And since he lived in LA, he was like holding the mic as the MC. So whenever somebody was coming out from the final table, then they would do the interview. So that's why I was standing next to the mic getting an interview with David Singer. He was doing the interview. And if anybody has that card player video, it'd be nice to give it up. Just saying. I probably haven't myself. At one time I did, but I lost all my videos. Almost all. All right. So we're making history here. What the stock market is right. And if you still have not gotten your free shares of stock from Robinhood and Webull, down below in the description box, there's more of it. It's there for you. Robinhood, free share of stock by downloading the software, the app. Then Webull, download the app, deposit $100 or more. They give you up to 15 fractional shares or 5 regular stocks. Or depending on the promo, it could be more. Then Moo, you have to have maintain $100 or more in your brokerage account. And they wait 60 days before they give you roughly 5 free shares of stock, if that's what you want to do. Now, some people would say then, Eric, what's the best one? Well, I used to say Webull because they were far ahead, but Robinhood is easiest. So if that matters, I don't really know if that means anything to people, but there you go. So you want to keep doing it. If I take an L, I will be with the blue chick stock I want anyways. They always come back up. Yes, that is very true. Exactly. That's another reason you want to have blue chip stocks. We talked about this now. Notice there's been a trend. We were on the dividend train, yes. But because now the blue chips are getting a big push, they're getting government favoritism. So therefore, index funds also are going to be great. Everything. And remember, index funds is money from other people, and then they use that money to buy blue chip stocks and others. So that's why the stocks also will go up because ETFs buy them. Like, that's a thing. So they don't just have money that they're generating and using their money and the government money and the subsidy money. They're also getting investors, mom and pop investors like ourselves, buying NVIDIA, for instance, directly. But then now you put money in VOO, VTI, VOOG, that's an ETF. So all the people putting money in there, they go, well, we'll buy some more shares of NVIDIA. We'll buy some more shares of Apple. We'll buy some more shares of Microsoft. We'll buy some more. You get it, right? And so that boosts them up as well. And then you have ordinary citizens buying their shares of stock. Now you understand why we're going to have a rocket ship like we've been saying. And it has been. What are we saying? It has been a rocket ship. I mean, come on, let's get real. Regardless of what's happening, the stock market, no matter who's president, always rises because the Federal Reserve, that's their job, to make sure the wealthy have money. You guys got to understand who created the Federal Reserve. All right, let's go. Now, I think we've covered that, but we didn't cover the smart credit, right? Smart credit, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to need that. So let me put a link down below for the smart credit monitoring system, which also protects you and your family for identity theft. That's a good thing. All right. Does your FICO 8 score for a car? Okay. Does all 3 credit bureaus. They have different levels. You want to take the top level if you do decide to join, but they have a low level because we're using our affiliate link where you'll get virtually sometimes $1 a month for 4 or 5 months so you can see what it's like. Sometimes it's $5. It changes a little bit, but use that right there. Post-retirement travel has done you all a favor, and all of us a favor. Make sure you always have your pen, pads, and papers ready because he has written it down. SPYQQQ VOO VTI SCHB VOOG IVV SCHD. Go look at those and see what you may like. I like all of them. There's the Schwab stuff. I'm a little, but there's nothing wrong with any of these that he has listed. You do your own research and feel which one speaks to you. That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. You do your studying. That's what you have to do. Now, hopefully you get your credit right. Like I said, because in 1 year, 3 months, 775 is the goal. That means you have to pay your debt down in order for your credit to improve. You want it under 10%. You really want it around 5% of the overall credit, credit cards you have. All right. Revolving trade lines, you want them under 10%, preferably close to 5% of the credit limit, just so I'm clear. All right. That gives you a huge advantage, not only starting now, because your credit will be in the sevens already, but we need extra payments so it's 775 and up. That's what we need, because then that gives you a huge advantage over a large percentage of the population, more than 50, more than 60. That's what we're trying to say. We live in a society with living paycheck to paycheck in America, and Canada is 80% or above. In Canada, it's 85%. In America, it's 80%. So again, free financial help is here just from the words, but we showed you where to go. That's the other thing. Grants, we showed you where to go. Clear your debt, improve credit. We've talked about that. Now we're talking about wealth building with the blue chips. And by the way, once you have better credit, you can also finagle. And I shouldn't use the word finagle, but I have to. Once you have better credit, then all of a sudden, uh, that allows you to get loans that some people may not be able to get. And when you have all of these combinations with wealth, and you have money in a bank, and you have good credit, or you have a brokerage account that you can show your banker, then all of a sudden they start opening up doors, going, hey, we can help you if you do this and this. Allow us to hold this brokerage account in our bank or our whatever. We'll do this. You see, there's lots of opportunities that come that you may not realize, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This also works the same way with, we're about to have people get deliveries in the DR, which DR doesn't have the banking or the infrastructure for the mortgages, right? Lending. But in America, they have lending. So there's things that happen that most people may not think about. But when you're wealthy, you can get loans against certain things that the ordinary citizens would not, when your credit score is 700, 725, 750. When it's like 800, 775 and up is what I suggest. Then all of a sudden they start opening doors, going, hey, you know what? Didn't you tell me you had some property outside of America somewhere? Now, people would say, they're not going to use that as collateral. Are they not? Why not? Because you're going to go, well, Eric, they can't because they don't have any right to it, because they don't do banking in that country. Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys understand that Scotia Bank is in DR, right? You also understand Scotia Bank is in Canada. You know Scotia Bank is in more than just two countries, right? You know where else Scotia Bank has to do their banking if they want to do business or banking in the United States? New York. They have to have a bank in the US to do business with the United States, federal government, state governments. That's one of the requirements. So I'll just leave it at that. You can start figuring out and start doing dots. So I'm just saying, when you have the certain things in place, all of a sudden doors start opening that you never thought existed. You have choices. You just don't know it because you need to put yourself in position. You have brokerage accounts. You have money in there. You have bank accounts. You're good with that. You could leave a little, who cares? You have assets in America, outside of America. They see them and they're like, oh, wait, he's got stuff. All of a sudden they're going to come and do a deal for you and say, and then get approval, like Scotia Bank. You guys are covering their loan over there in DR. You're going to use that. They're going to use that as a collateral. I need you to collateralize it for us. Backdoor, in-house. There's a lot of things, guys. This is why you're dangerous. You don't know it. When you don't know the rules, you now don't understand how other people get to move ahead faster than you. About credit, there's an iPhone app called Credit Karma. Yes, Credit Karma's been out. That keeps track of your credit scores for TransUnion and Equifax. Yes, Credit Karma used to charge to get 2 and 3 credit bureaus. But that's great if they've added TransUnion and Equifax. It used to be free. It shows you a nice personalized dashboard. Will also alert you of issues. Yes, you're right. Credit Karma, that's an app already out. Creditkarma.com as well as the website. That's what started it all way 10, 12, 15 years ago. And I didn't know they had an app though, but that's cool. Thank you for letting people know. Greatly appreciated. But there you go. If you have an Apple, there you go. Credit Karma, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of Apple, that is a blue chip stock, AAPL. Just saying. All right. $1 trillion company, by the way, now. Joining NVIDIA. Who else just joined that? Oracle? Was it Oracle? Bo, Oracle, the blue chip stock, by the way. Government favorite. So that helps them out greatly. All right. Okay. We're only on here 1 hour. 11 minutes. We covered everything that I wanted to discuss this evening. Did not even talk about the Forex. There's nothing to talk about. Again, I did my L of 900 and what, $90 L. So in fact, the profit was, where's my thing? It was 900 and something, like 70 or something. So all the profit goes bye-bye. And some of the profit I downloaded. So, but still, I'm back to even. I mean, for the second bot, that's not good. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not good. I'm just even. But the next 1,000 plus 1,020 or whatever it is, now if I lose that, now we have a negative for bot 2, still positive to 1, but hey, we need both of them to start ticking, right? So hopefully we'll find out next Thursday. That's when I'm rebooting because I got to learn some more. I didn't realize there were some other things that people were using arbitrage. I didn't realize those numbers. I'll do Monday. We'll talk about that Forex situation. I'll show it on screen. Joe Nay is here, another investor. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. What's good, everybody? Good evening. I hope everybody is in good health. Yes, you got that right. Health is wealth. I just smashed that like button. He gave it a 1 piece. Thank you so much. I'm very, very happy that you did. Greatly appreciated. All right. Joe Nay, how's things going on the island, man? I don't know what the weather's like. It has been in this July, August, and September weather. What's that been like? Credit is overrated. You have to stop with those bots too. MDA 0214. Stop with the bots. Okay. You talking about the Forex bots, the auto trading bots? Or are you talking about those bots that people say something about the chat room? You must be talking about those auto trading bots. But credit is not overrated, MDA 20214. It's not gonna be, is what I should say. It has been, but again, 1 year, 3 months, go along and just say, get yourself to 780, 775 and up. Just humor me because we'll be talking about this in a year and about 3 months before my official exit from social media into La La Land. All right. So check it out. Just go along for the ride. All right. Just go along for the ride. And you're going to find out on the other side of the fence, there's some other stuff going on and it should help you out greatly. All right. And get the assets along the way. All this is a combination. This isn't one or another. This is all combined to build wealth for your future and your family combined. And it just keeps growing from there because you'll have opportunities credit wise with using collaterals. And you're not going to take high risk maneuvers when you are able to use other people's money, are you? Okay, let's go another route. Since MDA 0214, another investor is in the house. Very happy to see you once again. Let's go a different route. How did Elon Musk buy Twitter? He had some investors. He used collateral. He sold some shares of stock. He borrowed against shares of stock because he could, right? So he was able to buy another losing asset, right? Then he turns around and uses another company he forms, XAI, to buy Twitter. Now claims Twitter is whatever number you want. Let's just call it, I don't remember what he did, but let's say it's $10 billion. XAI, a company out of thin air, acquired a company of $10 billion. So therefore, XAI has to be worth $10 billion, right? Not Twitter, but XAI has to be worth $10 billion, right? Think about it. All right? Just saying. There you go. He used asset, not credit. Wait, if you borrow from your shares of stock, that is what? That's interesting. Because borrowing, isn't that, is that, that's using some sort of credit. And he didn't have to use official credit, as you call it, because he's borrowing against his shares of stock. And then he has to have a certain level, like 30% or whatever his loan to value is, or as I call it, loan to value, but whatever his value, he can't borrow 100%. And it's not free, by the way. He's paying interest. Okay. Um, check this out. Check this out. Let's go. I can't rehash, but $44 billion. Oh, by the way, you know he got money from Oracle too, which was Larry Ellison put money in too as an investor. So interesting that you don't count it as a loan when you borrow. Huh. Okay. Musk took out 12.5 billion in margin loans. You know when you take a loan out on margin there's interest, right? So he's using assets. He's still paying interest. He also secured 13 billion from banks, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and others. That sounds like loans to me. Uh, these are loans. I mean, you pay interest on this stuff. You can't borrow on margin and pay zero. That doesn't happen. Otherwise, they wouldn't give you margin. But anyhow, hope that helps. Tamara Larry, another investor, is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And she brings her usual tagline. Hello all. Hopefully you and the family of men have been doing great. Hopefully you've been staying safe in Chi-Town. All right, it's a loan, but it's not using a credit score. Oh, okay. He's using assets to acquire the loan, which is why I say credit is overrated. Ah, okay. Now I get where you're coming from. Yes, but what do you do if you don't have the assets or enough of the assets? So you have to stair step. We're ordinary citizens. You have to stair step. You have to say, well, I have X amount over here in this account. Just like the big boys, I have a brokerage account, X amount. Then you say, oh, my credit score is look good, great. That's how you can actually get better. But if you were Elon Musk or any of the owners of any of the top 10 companies, they're going to utilize this method. before they're going to use their credit score. You are right about that. Yep. You are right about that. You're right about that. You save. Yeah, you're right about that. I don't know about the savings part myself because I'm telling you everybody the reason why you should do it is to put yourself in position in case you do need credit to make sure that you get the best rate, make sure you can possibly get special deals. You will not get special deals with the 725. You're not going to get special deals with the 680. You're not going to get really special deals with the 750. But as soon as you hit that 7.8, 780 and up, then all of a sudden things start happening, especially when you say, hey, I have a brokerage account or I have a real estate holdings, right? It's the same as Elon Musk. Um, uh, they don't have enough revenue. That's why. That's why they fail. They don't have enough revenues, and they all 90% of them fail in the first year, and 90% of those that failed that did not fail in the first year fail in the second year. It's pretty serious. It's because they don't have the money, and when you have, first of all, underfunding is like the number one thing. By the way, and most of the time, because you're using your first of all, if you have a business and you try to go say, I need a loan, they say, okay, you're going to need your credit score to secure it. Most of the time, they're not just going to go, oh, okay, unless you have equipment. Like when I had the restaurant equipment biz, I could call up and say, hey, I have, you know, $2 million worth of equipment. Can I get a loan against it? Yes. They'll give me a loan without my credit score. But if I'm any 1 or 2 year business, they're going to say, okay, hey, I need your credit score. You got to secure this. They're not going to let you do something without having assets. So if you don't have assets, the only thing you're going to have, which by the way, again, 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. So how are they going to get the assets if they're living paycheck to paycheck for 2, 3, 4 years? So therefore, the only thing that you can control is credit scores, which now means they have to be a certain, they can't be like 720 and it's going to matter. It can't be 750. It's got to be like close to 8. That will matter. When, see, you don't understand, interest rates are going down. They're going to want a loan a year and a half from now. Loans are going to be like candy. But the people who have the better loans will be able to make other moves that they can't do today. At least that's talk to me a year and a half from now. But anyhow, what's killing their revenue? Their employees. That's why. Okay. Okay. So here's the situation. You know what? I got a story to tell you guys. Remember on my Monday night live stream, which was really on Wednesday night live stream, and I was talking about, hey, you guys, when you go to a store, businesses go, we're going to eat the tariffs. And I said, what's going to happen when businesses do that BS? They're going to start firing their help. So guess where I went on Thursday? Yesterday, Walmart. Why? Needed a little mixer, hand mixer. Because, the wife made awesome, awesome pie. All right. Peach cobbler pie. Oof, it was off the charts. But check this out. The mixers were behind glass, locked up. A little hand mixers are locked up. But this is not the whole story. Here's the story that I was talking about on Wednesday night. The whole 2 aisles over from the main aisle, that when you walk in the door, you make a right or a left, whichever store you're in, and you go down that main aisle down to where the appliances, cooking appliances, baking or whatever, right? Needed somebody to open the glass. My uncle went down a few aisles looking for people. So when he was doing that, I just walked out to the main aisle, started walking down sideways. I took up a whole block section Went all the way down, looking through each aisle. There was not one employee to open the case. I get out to the back where every store is almost built the same, where they have the electronics, right? Not exactly where the electronics is, but if you know Walmart stores on the right hand side, usually, or whatever, is where you're going to find the appliances or crafts or whatever's back there, gun side and all that. But anyhow, I get back to the back line before I see a person taking stuff out to ship. And I ask her, hey, do you know who can open the case? Now, mind you, I'm at least 15 rows from where I need to be, maybe 20. It's off the charts. I'm like at the other end of the store. And she's like, what? There's nobody in that section? I said, there's been nobody in this section for 10 minutes. We've been looking for people. I said, I just walked all the way back here because I figured I'd run into somebody that's working in the store. She goes, yeah, that's not my department. But she says, you know what? I can open it with my phone. Let's go. This is what I was just talking about. So what's killing revenues for businesses is your employee cost is the most expensive. This is why corporations do layoffs and mom and pop businesses as well. This is why they're the most expensive part of your business is employees. So that's what starts happening. Now, when you start messing around with the ecosystem, transportation, tariffs, increasing costs for wholesale items that your business needs, that's a killer. That also is why businesses are going out of business. This is why we're going to have, I was doing the hello, 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 right? In the store. I was just laughing. I was like, this is what I was talking about just last night. There's nobody here to help. This is crazy. A whole block of sections. It's crazy. I mean, ignored completely. I ran into the lady that was up front by the pharmacy. She says, again, she's getting hemmed up because 4 or 5 people's trying to ask her questions. Finally, she walks off. I said, oh, excuse me. Can you just tell me who's in this section over here? She goes, not me. Sorry, can't help you. But I'll see if I can call or find somebody to help you. And meanwhile, there's somebody hemming her up. She's like, but can you hold on? I got to get this opened over here. And I'm like, okay. She's surrounded by 4 or 5 people. I just walked off. I was like, I'll just walk down here, run into somebody else by the time she's done with whatever. I was like, this is exactly what I was talking about. But anyhow, that's what kills the business. So, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to Google this. Let's see what Google says. Let's see what they say. Uh, 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 Poor marketing. Okay. Ineffective strategies, operational inefficiencies, poor customer service, failure to adapt to market changes. Again, this all goes hand in hand when you have a market for business that you don't know what's going to happen next week, which is AKA tariffs, no tariffs, maybe tariffs, or part of transportation, supply chain issues, or there's too many things. Um, Revenue can be killed by those things. Um, what kills revenue from a business? Hold on, is employees one of them? Let me do it this way. One of the reasons. Let's see what Google says. Yes, employees can kill revenue. Right, but they're just one of the many factors that can cause a business revenue decline. Poor employee perform well, morale, turnover of yeah, that's the whole point. That's why this is not good. And when people don't get paid what they should be getting paid. But anyhow, financial management, obviously, market conditions, a weak business plan. Okay, business plan means I need loans. Um, but anyhow, that's how businesses operate. That's how it works. All right, MD0214, you know I love this conversation. We can talk business all day, man. All day. We can talk about it. But let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on. How many businesses would fail if built slow with cash? Grow at the speed of cash. Nah, you can't. No. Okay. I don't know what speed of cash means because, first of all, okay, let me just stop right now. If you think that any of the corporations, any of the richest dudes on the planet are going to sit there and go, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to get loans to run my other people's money to run the business that I'm going to buy." I don't know what you mean because that's what they all do. Nobody's sitting up here talking about, "Oh yeah, here's $100 million. I got it, but I'm going to just buy it outright." No, nobody does that. So let's go the other route. When you start a business, we'll start a business. You have so many unknown factors. That's why 9 out of 10 fail. Because even if you plan and you say, well, it's going to cost me $300,000 this year in expenses, well, by the time you're done, it's like 7 or 6. You can't deal with cash only scenarios. That's not going to work. And that would be risk. That first of all, that would be ridiculous. The only reason you have to do cash only is when you do startups at a small scale. If you do startups at a larger scale, then you need investors, loans. You have to pay people for getting their money. That's why it's very hard for mom and pop businesses to run and be successful, is because they don't have the loan capabilities. They can't sit there and say, hey, I need a loan for $1 million to get started. So they're flush and are able to make mistakes, able to hire, able to promote without fear of, well, I just spent 50,000 or I just spent 20,000 on this promotional thing. Hopefully it's going to work. And if it's a flop, that money's out the window and now you have no revenue coming in. Now you're going to have to figure out something else. So now you start, and that's why you have a high rate of L's for business startups and mom and pop businesses, because they can't get the money. They're not like the big boys. So that's why I say personal credit. And furthermore, credit changes, MDA. What you could do 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, you can't do now. So you have to put yourself in position to know, to be ready later when they have to or will make sure that people can get credit, and those with better credit personally. Because remember, we're dealing with people of average net worth of $150,000, right? And that may not even be loanable net worth, in my opinion, right? It might just be a combination of things. So you have to get your wealth up if you want to start playing the big boy game. And if you're going to play the mom and pop game, you're going to be in that sweat all the time. There's just no way around it. I don't see how there's any way around it. But if I don't understand your speed of cash though, because if a business starts off out the box, profitable day one, yes, that does happen, but that's very hard. Even after a business is in business for 5 years, there's still a failure rate because it's very hard to stay in business unless, why do the big boys always get to stay in business? They get money from other sources, stocks, if they're going to be stocks, right? Think of these companies that always want to have an IPO. That's other people's money coming in. Think of Tesla never had, think of Tesla never had any profit for how many years? 20? So how did they keep making money? They had to have loans. So this is what I'm saying. Unfortunately, we don't get to just keep getting loans from the government and stuff like that and be able to sustain ourselves while we have no profit for 10 years, 15 years. That's not doable. So there's a difference when you put yourself in that position versus not having it at all. Going with what most people deal with now. Okay, I'm going to use my credit. Give me a credit card. It's going to be secured by. Then you fail. You owe all this money secured under your name. You're going to have to file bankruptcy most of the time. You're messing up your credit. Maybe even use collateral as your house, doing all this crazy, right? You should see failures. There's the car company in LA, Southern California, CNC, I think. No, that's maybe it was CNC, CAC, CNC. Exotic cars. They're selling exotic cars, but they're using the paper. They're getting loans because now they don't sell the cars fast enough. Because remember, every time they're holding it, that's money. It cost overhead cost, right? So now they're getting loans against their paper, and that's their whole downfall. Big, huge mistake. Because if they don't have the revenue to pay the loans, now the people are knocking on the front door and they're putting liens on their property. And then he has a loan against his home as collateral. See, we don't want to do that. We don't want that. So now his home's gone bye-bye, business gone bye-bye, bankruptcy filings. That's crazy. So why do that? So that's why I say put yourself in position slowly. Yes, I might have to use my credit score, but we're buying assets. We're not doing this liability buy, right? That's the key. And you're putting yourself in position for an unknown situation down the line with credit. Again, don't forget what happened in after the dot-com bust. Pay attention. Remember when anybody could get a house by signing a piece of paper? Remember that? You know what else happened? Property values increased. So whether you were holding, I was holding a piece of land that was three. I bought it for $3,000 during the dot com. After in the 2000s, a realtor sees me. He comes up to me. He says, "Eric, I can get you $90,000 for that lot." I was like, "What? I just bought this like 2 or 3 years ago. What are you talking about right now?" He goes, "Don't." He goes, "All the property values are going up, and people are asking me for a lot like yours for 90 grand." I'm like, "Sell that." Another guy, I bought another lot across the street from the lake that's in a no man's land. Same situation, except that was a little different. He sits up there and he built his I don't even remember. I think it was like a model, a manufactured home. It was get this. It was zoned anything. I mean, it could be commercial, it could be residential, it could be, except it wasn't agriculture, but it could be almost anything. I could put a store there. It was in a gray area, so to speak. It was wild. That's the whole reason I bought it, actually. But the guy ends up being like a foot on my lot line. So one day I knock on his door and I'm like, "Hey, man, one of these days I'm probably going to do something with this lot. I don't know when, but I just wanted to be like, you're on like over like a foot or something on my land, right? There has to be an easement too. So I just wanted to let you know I'm not mad about it. There's nothing. I'm not going to ever do anything about it unless I did something with the lot and it infringed upon what I was doing. But I just wanted to let you know." The guy comes back and calls me the next day and he says, "Hey, do you want to sell your lot? I'll buy it from you for 25 grand." Again, I bought it for like three. I said, "Nah, man, how about 40?" he's like, he's like, "Oh man, come on. I'll think about it." So he sent me back this thing going, "Okay, man, 35K." I'm sitting there like, "Okay, I don't really care. I can get more." Plus, I wasn't using it. It wasn't an HOA either, but I was still like, but this is the point I'm trying to make. You need assets any way you can get them, and you're not going to be able to get them with using money. Then you have to use it with credit as an ordinary citizen. If you can't use it with credit as an ordinary citizen, then you're going to have to use it with collateral of something. And you need to borrow money in order to make some more money of any significant number. And that significant number now isn't 50 grand. It isn't 30 grand. It's like hundreds of thousands if you want to move forward. You don't get to just sit back and say, "Well, I'll buy a house, it'll increase in value, yada, yada, yada," while paying a liability and then waiting 10 years later. You don't know what's going to happen. Your house can't even probably be insured. What the HOA is going to be if there are, you don't even know what property taxes are going to be. So that would be high risk. So you have to be able to put yourself into a business environment is my opinion. That's why we're talking like this. But I like what MDA is saying, because there are parts of what he's saying is correct. You keep messing around using your personal credit for meaningless crap, that's going to come back to haunt you. And starting a business using your personal credit also can come back to haunt you. So keep all that in mind. I agree with some of the things that he's saying, because that is true. Banks need to see a good business plan to lend you money, or you better have a good collateral. Exactly. That's true. That's very true. Grow at the speed of cash and build a reserve as you grow. It'll lower your chances of failing significantly. He's talking about business now. Yes, he's correct. He's absolutely correct about that. This right here, he's absolutely right. If you can get enough of the cash flow in on a monthly basis, even if you've been in business for 8 years, there's no guarantee that the eighth year you're going to have the same revenue or more, and your costs are going up, right? So there's never a guarantee. But yes, he's exactly right about this, right? I agree with this. Um, if you can build something and still have the revenues, that is the best thing ever. It'll lower your chances of failing. Yes, he's exactly right. Your failure rate does go way, way down. It reduces dramatically if you make enough. I'll use a perfect example. In Florida, in the wintertime, whatever they made that year, profit wise, they would try to stash as much of the money away, because they don't know what's going to happen next year for hurricane, or what their season's going to be like next year. So they would stash away enough money and say, oh, we have this amount that we can allocate towards getting new equipment or new whatever. But we have to hold back exactly what MDA is talking about, a reserve. Because if there's a hurricane that comes and we are out of business for 2-3 months, we need that reserve. This is exactly how the southern areas work on their businesses. But at the same time, they're always at risk, because if there is something that's catastrophic that comes to their area and they don't have the customers to come in, then they're pretty much bye bye. And so that's why each year you're longer in business, and it does help. I've seen this play out when I was in Florida, and businesses had to, the equipment they had, they kept putting off year after year because equipment's expensive. And they would always say, we can't do this right now because we don't know what we're going to do. We'll have to wait till after the season to make sure that we can buy that and then deal with the future. And they always do, because in Florida, remember, they generally have hurricanes or affected areas every, seemingly every 2 or 3 years. Could be the same high winds. Things weren't even previously built from 2 years ago. So, I mean, this is a plays out, but that's for in that case. But he's exactly right. Whatever business you're in, you need to, don't be like these people that go out there and you have a business and be like showboating. Go get in the cars, go get the trucks, go get all these liability things. You should be doing exactly what MDA is talking about. If you want to stay in business a long time, you always have to have reserve money. Always. Always. I don't even care. I don't even care what they say. Just like when you buy an apartment building and the bankers say they'll give you a loan, but we need to see 6 months to 12 months reserve, or some whatever their number is. But usually the minimum 6 months. Sometimes it's 12. You'll be like, well, okay, they'll say, okay, it's let's say 5,000 a month. They'll say, okay, we need to see $60,000 in reserve, and we'll give you this, and it's going to be held in our bank, right? I mean, just saying. Um, all that comes into play. Very well, MDA. I love that. So many things that can kill business, including poor management. Exactly, poor management is like number one, too. I mean, yeah, it's a straight cluster, right? Employees are the easy expense to cut and often the biggest expense. Exactly, they are. But most don't fail because of them. You might be right. But to me, you know what else was very interesting? There was businesses in Florida where employees would still come to work not getting paychecks for 2 or 3 weeks. Can you? I know. I couldn't believe what I was saying. I said, "Is this for real right now?" People are not getting paychecks, but they're still coming up there to work, saying they'll get an IOU when things turn around. And I'm like, what if things never turn around? And their thing is like, oh, it will. I'm like, so what? Wait, you're not getting a paycheck and you over here working? I mean, this doesn't this. I never heard of such a thing, quite frankly, but I saw it, heard it with my own eyes. And these are like all different type of businesses, all different. Not in, but it's in service industry mostly, right? Because that's what I was dealing with, mostly service industry. And I couldn't believe what people were saying. Yeah, I haven't gotten paid in like 3 weeks. Uh, but you showed up to work. I'm like, this is insane. Oh, yeah, I get a little tips. Okay, but you're not getting paid. I've seen some crazy, crazy stuff. I generally always contribute to uh, the reason. Again, I always push back on when people say it's not employees. That, like you say, employees cost you the most, many different ways. So by keeping the employees, you will fail. See, that's the problem. The way you look at it, you will fail. The reason you eject the employees is so you don't fail now. But if you kept your employees, you wouldn't have enough money to pay them. So that's how I look at it. You're saying, yeah, because they eject them, just like Walmart's doing right now. They don't have the employees, but they're not out of business. But you can see what the trend is, because sooner or later they're not gonna have enough employees if they keep doing this. We're gonna eat the tariff nonsense. Well, I don't know if they're doing it, but that's what they were saying at first. But the point is, sooner or later they have to keep firing people, and then you're gonna find yourself like all the other retail stores. Nobody's there, nobody's help. People stop coming. This is all goes along these lines, and so that's why I always do. For me, that's why I say if you start laying off people like Apple, like all the big boys have done. Thousands of employees are scheduled to be laid off, fired. They can't keep them. Otherwise, they would be out of business. That's the biggest expense in most cases. Hiring the wrong people, not keeping up with internal training, failure to keep the right talent. They follow the money. Exactly. 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 No, they try to grow too fast. There's several reasons. Yeah, business is not a linear thing. So you're saying there's no big companies who don't use loans? What do you consider big? Uh every company on Wall Street. That's that's thousands, millions. Um hold on, let me see something. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. First of all, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be just like ordinary businesses? That's one way you can conduct yourself, or are you trying to do mills? Most businesses do not use their own money to make investments unless I don't know who would do that. Like I said, I only go by corporations, right? LLC corporations, which is every business, and big is mills. Even if you want to start a small business, okay, hold on. Let me just put things in perspective. Are you saying if the SBA was not there, small business did not give out loans? Do you know how many loans these guys have to give out? Businesses would not exist. They need the loan money. There's no way. So you don't have to be that big. SBA loans to small businesses. Small Business Administration gives out loans to small businesses. These businesses would not exist or even possibly be able to start up without them. So that's how we go with the loans to begin with. So you don't have to be big, but you need startup money Or how do you get the startup money? You work your ass off, save it, and then you're going to risk your own money? That is not a sound move. You should not be risking your own money. I'll just say, no, you should be using other people's money. That's what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't recommend this. Meaning, add to the business as needed when you have the revenue to justify that new expense. I understand what you're saying on a normal business. Okay, a profitable, well-run business, you are giving strategies and structure for that. Yes, that works. But most businesses don't have that line. They can't sit there and say, "Well, I'm just going to stay within a certain revenue levels and grow accordingly." But sooner or later, you may not have the revenue to come in after, or the profit coming in to pay in order to move forward. That's where the problem comes in. And that's why lots of businesses fail, because they go, "Oh, I'm profitable." Okay, well, that's great. You're not an L, but you don't make enough profit to move to the next section. You're talking about a slow and steady growth, which is doable. That's how a lot of mom and pop businesses become very, very successful, using that. But at the same time, how many are we losing every year? Millions of mom and pop businesses, because they don't have the profit. And then they turn into the situation, well, and again, I'll use equipment businesses, because all businesses need equipment, whether it's upgrading of some electronics or whatever. Now the problem comes in. This thing cost $100,000, $75,000. So all these years you've been in business, you don't have that money now. So now you have to either go down and get a loan, or go down and use your something as collateral. It happens all the time. That's why we have high business failures. Because even if you're profitable for 5 years and you actually have even a small reserve, but then your business is expanding and you're like, well, I need a $500,000 thing or a $250,000 thing. Are we going to use our own money at 250, 500,000? No, we're going to go get a loan, right? Collateral or something. That would be the ideal scenario. Nobody does that. Like I said, you can see Elon Musk, how he did his stuff. He got investors. He got 20 or 30, 25, 26 billion loans, secured loans, by the way, that I'm referring to. So whether you call it credit, it's secured against something. It's not like a loan out of thin air. So just keep all these in mind. I'm talking about big companies always have to be able to borrow. That's the only way you should be growing. You should not be using your own money. You should be keeping your money in a duffel bag of cash, use their money, because quite frankly, if you fail, I'll just say this, just use the Trump playbook. File bankruptcy. So, yeah, it's like, what are we saying here? Um, hey, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, you're given the perspective of how you would run a business, small business, and keep it going. But again, in certain areas, people are keeping it going, then all of a sudden, death in the family or divorce, or there's so many factors that is a problem. All big companies use loans to grow. That is correct. That's how they increase inventory. Correct. Acquire equipment and real estate. Cap Axes said it exactly right. Exactly. Exactly. They're not going to use their. In fact, think about this. We have $1 trillion companies, and they're sitting there getting loans. They have profits. Oil companies have profits, but they're still getting loans for their equipment, because it makes no sense to use their billions of dollars and it's gone. It's thin air, gone. Meanwhile, I can just get a loan, get a 2.5, 3.5. I make money, pay that back. It makes no sense for me to use mine. That's crazy. So that's why they are able to grow. If you want to be a business that says, well, here, it's going to cost me whatever, 100,000 to improve, and I'm going to take it out of our stash and say, okay, that hundred's gone. Great. And if things don't start bringing in the profit, the 100 can't be replaced. That's why businesses go out of business ultimately. Because there's going to be a year when your profit's down or potentially an L. Like I said, you just never know. When the pandemic happened and businesses had to close down, guess what? They had loans. And those businesses that shut down that did not have loans, that they had to pay out their 50 or 100 or $200,000 because they had it, they wish they would have had a loan and still had the 200K or 400K. But you never know what's going to happen in this day and age. Just like the tariff war situation. Who knew that was coming? And then everything people order from outside the country could be anywhere from 0% to 100% more overnight. There's companies going out of business because they said, I can't pay $70,000 more. They've been in business 25 years. 75,000 more for our order. Now our order's 150,000. We can't buy it because then our customers won't buy it from us when we sell it to them for double the price because we have to. We can't eat the tariffs. So this is why it's a dangerous scenario when you say, well, I'll keep using my own cash, because in business, you never know what's going to happen. And then the next thing you know, it's a whole lot easier for the debt, the person that you owe your debt to say, hey, look, the pandemic happened. I can't pay you. The government said shut down. Do you think that all the loan companies just told everybody so sad, too bad? Elon Musk didn't even pay his rent in San Francisco and other cities for the spaces he was renting, just so they can come to him and say, hey, man, we need to negotiate the price, how you're going to pay us back. They entered into an agreement. So he did it on purpose. A lot of people did it on purpose, didn't pay their rent. The landlord still needs his money, but the landlord wasn't going to be like, well, I'll just evict you. They were like, well, why don't we talk, man? How are we going to get this back? You're going to pay me a few thousand right now, or what you're going to do? All these things you have no control over that you're going to have to deal with, and taking your own money and throwing it out there and not knowing what's going to happen in the future. That's high risk for me. I don't, that's why companies do exactly what post-retirement travel is saying. They're going to get the loans because that's not their money. And if anything goes haywire, they could just easily just go, yeah, I'm effed. Yeah, I might be having to get rid of my collateral or something if I used it. But okay, you see, this is how it works. And then you get to start again. It's like how it works. All right, nice conversation though. I love this because this is business. Because again, everything goes both ways. You start a business, you don't want to actually get a loan, really, if you can avoid it, because you're going to have an IOU on a loan when you start out. It's detrimental. But if you start going and you have profits and you know you need something to grow bigger, you should then therefore go, hey, I need a loan. Use other people's money. Don't use your profits. That's my advice. 10 million. No, you don't have to be 10 million. 10 million, 100 million, one side, 5 million, 1 million. I don't really care. Look, let me do it this way. I put in $1 million businesses. Okay. Um, Here you go. Yes, businesses with approximately 1 million annual revenue get loans from, guess who? One of them was SBA, like I said. Online lenders, yes, because you can go through like Blue Vine and other banking entities, and you have revenues of $1 million coming through. They'll automatically give you a loan without even having to secure it with your credit. All of this. But oftentimes, you're still going to need personal to back it. 3 years of operating history, potential collateral to secure loan. This sounds just like an Elon Musk deal, right? Collateral, operating history, businesses running, there's numbers, same thing as anybody else's loan. So again, I don't know what revenue has to do with anything. It all goes the same way. There's hardly any differences. The only reason a 1 million company may not be on the stock market, so therefore they don't have stocks to borrow against. That's one of the factors. But they're all getting loans. It's not like they're spending their own money. This is it's a combo. They'll spend their own money for research and development. Then they'll say, well, but if I need to expand the business, then we're going to get a loan because we can pay it. We have revenue coming in and we have cash on hand, right? That's another factor. So the bigger you get, the better deals you have. But yeah, 1 million's it's going to work the same way. There's not going to be any difference. The speed of growth will be based on demand. Exactly. You can blow up pretty fast with the right product. You have to be flexible and adjust accordingly. That is very, very true. That's where this goes. Because I'm going to give you a perfect example. If you're in the drug business, legal or illegal, what happens when you get somebody to order and says, I'll do the drug? I like that better. What happens when somebody walks in and says, hey, man, I need 100 kilos of Coke? And you're the guy that's been selling 1 kilo. You know what happens next. I need a loan. Or you don't do the job. Same rules apply. Just like if you're doing ordering, if you're Walmart and all of a sudden you have a hot selling item, but it's made in another country. And the other country, it's going to take you $25 million to get that order to sell. They're probably going to get a loan device to get it and bring it. You're not going to spend your own money. That's not, in my opinion, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. But we'll see. Tech businesses are very, very expensive. They burn money on R&D. No other business besides them need loans. Elon is in tech. Bad example. Okay. Well, okay. So can I use Trump then, since he's in the real estate business, management business? Why does he get loans? You know what's funny? It's always funny. He gets loans for buildings, defaults, gets more loans, gets bailed out. Why does he? He's in real estate sometimes. He's in management other times, most of the time. He gets a licensing deal with his name on it, then he manages the property until somebody else finally comes in and saves the day. But the point is, why does a management company always have loans? Just asking. Um, why does any company in real estate, why do they have loans? Why does real estate investment trusts have loans when they have people that give them money from their stocks? Why do they have loans? I mean, this thing about not doing loans is not how businesses grow, whether it's tech or otherwise. Why does Walmart have loans? Why does, I mean, all the big boy companies have loans. There are tons of small businesses that gross that. Lots of love. You might want to be part of entrepreneur leadership. Dave team helped me a lot, and there are a bunch of people in the network with no debt. Uh, that that's a choice. Having no debt is a choice. if you're referring to no debt, that's a choice. If you're referring to um if you're talking about a situation like let's do it another way. If you're talking about a situation like if we're doing real estate, right? And like we have post retirement travel here, myself, we do real estate. So we have revenues coming in from for years for stuff we've done. So we have tons of profit and all that, right? All the time. So if you say no debt, okay, great, no debt. But if I'm doing a business that I need to grow, the no debt thing is not going to happen. I'm just going to say it like it is. And if I actually own a business and I'm CEO or something, getting paid $25 million, 10 million, 5 million, or just own the business and we make a nice, I don't care, 300, 400,000 a year, no debt. I get that. But business and personal is kind of different things. The question is how many businesses don't have debt? That's the $1 million question. And most businesses have debt because either way, your your business internet, your phone lines, your it's all debt. So I don't know what no debt means. But you can have no debt. I mean that's a Dave Ramsey thing. You can have no debt, but you always have debt. You're always going to have an IOU bill. You live in America. So I don't know what they mean by no debt. That's all I'm saying. You're always going to have debt. So if I live anywhere in America, I got property taxes, or I got rent. Take your pick. I got insurance. There's you always have debt. There's no way you can't just. You always have debt. You got electric bills. You got all. You have debts no matter what. And if you're a business person, you're going to have debts because you either own your building or you rent your building. And from a business perspective, uh, owning versus renting, accounting wise, good and bad for both. But either way, owning depreciation, but now it's an asset that increases in value. Eh, renting straight expense. So I mean, it's very interesting when somebody says no debt. I don't I don't know what that really means. But I like it. I like it. Get your debt down as low as possible. Once again, you've done the tenets of my 1 year, 3 months plan. Get your debt down so your credit score is up. It's a win-win. I like what you're saying. The no debt is right. That's where we want to go right now. But we'll talk in a year and 3 months because that's when I'm going to be telling you, okay, now you get to have, remember that 0% for 3 years that a business owner can use now? Just saying. Secured collateral, just like everybody else. That's where we're going with this. So it allows ordinary citizens to be able to come out the box without having to struggle at first for longer before they come out the box. You want to come out the box fast. You want to have demand now. You don't want to have to keep working for it. Cost of acquisition is a bitch. You that is debt. That is serious. It's no joke. But yeah, I talk. So my point is there are plenty of small business owners who build multi-million-dollar companies without debt. Media have people hooked on loans and credit. Don't be like the 99% debt equals risk. Um I highly disagree. Let me ask you something. There was something called a PPP loan. Can I ask you why lots of major corporations got a PPP loan? I'm asking because what you're saying is there are always small businesses that may not have loans, or I don't even know what you mean by debt. There's no company that has without there's no such thing as without debt. You can't avoid debt if you have a corporation or company. There's no way. If you're saying that we make $1 million and you're saying our bills are 500,000 and we just pay them off and that's no debt, okay, I guess that could be a thing. But if I'm trying to expand, are you really suggesting that they're not going to expand, or are they just going to be good with their $1 million? I don't know. All I know is if you want to expand around the world, do your thing, and you generally take on debt. If you want to stay like whatever you're at, 3 million a year, fine, no debt. But I know lots of businesses that are 3 million, 2 million, 5 million, whatever, and they have debt. I don't know anybody that generally just goes, yeah, we're going to use all our profits and take high risk maneuvers by trying to expand and get new customers. Because you always have to advertise, you always have to get new customers. That's cost of acquisition. You don't get free customers. There's a cost. And sometimes customers, for whatever reason, may not come. Like I said, pandemic is a perfect example. I don't know how many businesses went out of business, but I'm pretty sure there was millions. I'm talking about just in the US. So that's where the problem comes in. Um, I'm I'm not. Media doesn't have nobody. Businesses, look, nobody. Again, if you're again, I know people in the pharmaceutical industry, natural food, natural nutritions, and all this, right? People come to them. They're manufacturers. People come to them. They'll say, "Hey, I need a." They tell the person, a person wants to have a product made. The person says, "Well, I'm just a startup. I'm new. I can only order maybe 500 to 1,000 units." You know what they say? They say, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. My employees, the cost of my equipment to run, I got to clean it. I got to store it over here." They're nah, we're not doing that. The person that needed that 500 to 1,000 units, they're screwed, right? Because they say we need 5,000 minimum order, 10,000 minimum order. You start talking about $4 or $5 per product, that's $50,000. Person says, I don't have $50,000. This is what I'm trying to avoid for the people that's ordinary citizens, because how else are they going to get the $50,000 and want to be in business and have people that want to order it? You can't get in business then, right? Because you don't have the 50,000. But they have orders. They have orders. They're going to sell the product for $35 each. Only costs $5 to make. They got orders, but they don't have 50,000 to get their first orders. That stops people from being able to do what they need to do. So what's he going to do next? Not do it or figure out a different way? He's the other way he figures it out is he goes down and says, "Hey, I have these. I need $50,000. I have some orders." Now you're gonna have to show some paperwork. You're gonna have to say, "Well, I got $40,000 in orders or something," right? You're gonna have to make a deal somehow, but otherwise, you're out of business. Speaking of pharmaceutical companies, remember when Trump said 100% tariffs on products from China? Once again, pharmaceutical bottles, caps, the equipment, American manufacturers stopped making it and allowed China to make it because China was like 10% to 15% of the cost that American companies have to charge. So they said, we're not going to do this business no more. So all the bottles come from, mostly 99% of the bottles come from China. So when they said it's $3 a bottle, now all of a sudden it's $6 a bottle. That's unforeseen. So instead of those 5,000 bottles costing 15 grand, now it costs 30, just the bottles, right? Now, when they said some of the product comes from that to create their product comes from China because that's where the lowest market is. Now that's double. So now all of a sudden that product cost situation was 100 grand. It starts adding up, and that's what people don't realize. In a real situation, you don't know what's going to happen. You have to be able to use loans to get it. I was going to do my boys been gone for like 3 weeks with the gas stations, right? I'll give you another example. There's gas stations for sale right now. Ordinary citizens, you're going to put up $1 million, 500,000, 200,000. They have the gas stations selling for the land and everything, or gas stations that are selling just the business, right? Inside. The reason why my friends generally don't buy the gas stations is because the oil companies actually do the pumps and the tanks, which are the most expensive parts, and of course the property and the taxes and all that cost thousands of dollars per year. So instead, they're like, forget that because you're going to get commission on the gas sales. Then you get the profit from everything else. But you leave that alone. Don't buy the whole thing. Just buy the business. So now, if the pumps go out, guess who pays it? The corporation, the oil company. If the tanks get effed up, something needs to be done with underground, dug up, whatever, replaced. Oil company. None of that is at their risk. They don't have to pay extra insurance. They don't have to do none of that. So now that makes them out. It ends up being better profit for them because they still have a set number. Now, the person's going to buy $2.5 million to buy the whole gas station, take the whole risk. That wouldn't be wise. But this has nothing to do with loans. But if you said, oh, just spend the 2.5, would you waste 2.5 million of your own money to be debt free? Knowing full well that something's going to happen with your pumps or your system or something, and that's going to cost you an arm and a leg out of pocket. So it's a fine line between trying to be like debt free and trying to operate businesses and stay in business and grow and making sure everything works. So I don't know if so much of it's the media. I just think it's major. Major businesses use debt for different reasons. Yep, could be manipulation in their numbers. For investors, true. Future growth, true. Tax purposes, true. But it's not a need to grow. You're going to grow faster. Look at the DR scenario with projects. As a builder, unless you're lucky and ramping up the unit sales, you need loans to finish the project. That's probably the case with Larimar and other. It is. That in fact, that's another example. Because since they don't have enough sales or not going to, the cost to build is much different than it was 4 years ago. In fact, it's double. So since their cost is double and they've locked in a price and then they have less sales, now guess what? They need loans in order to keep this thing going. You would say they could have been debt free. They might have been debt free at the beginning, but now since things have slowed down, less customers, they need loans. I'm sure too. I'm positive. There's no way they can't complete it. They owe double. It's gonna cost them double to build, and whatever little profit they have is gonna be made when the 50% or 65% or 60% of loan, the overall amount is due upon delivery. But they got problems. A bunch of projects are going to have problems. And guess what? They're going to use their paper for the contracts, and they're going to use those as derivatives. They're going to get loans for the paper. They're going to say, look, we got 800 people. The average price is $150,000. In fact, let me go look this up because this is exactly what they're doing. I believe 800 times 150K. This is a perfect example, actually. That's 120 million. So here we go. They went somewhere and said, hey, I got 120 million worth of paper. Who'll give me whatever, 40 million, 30 million. And so now they go, here's our revenue, here's our revenues from our sales for the last 2 years. They can see it going down, but then their new prices are higher. So you can have less sales, but still keep a revenue number. So in essence, let's just say they make, I don't know, 50, not even that, $20 million a year. Not, yeah, that's probably reasonable. 20 million a year just from thin air. So yeah, they'll get an interest only loan for a few years and rock with it, or just sell some of the paper outright and pay interest. I don't know, but yeah, that's exactly. Businesses cannot just do this because they grew too fast. No, that's not reason why. It's not why. It's because of the pandemic situation came too. So they didn't. It was the opposite. They didn't grow fast enough. That's what happened with them because the pandemic slowed everything down, and they were after the pandemic. Well, kind of in the end of 2022. So that's where things kind of hit them. And then things slowed down. And they effed up because they were saying they were going to deliver in 2025. Well, as soon as 2024 rolled around, everybody could see without anything on the ground, there was no way they're building 17-story towers in less than a year, right? That wasn't going to happen. And let alone 4 or 5 of them. That clearly can't happen. So that's when people started slowing down, slowing their roll. This clearly can't happen. And along with realtors saying it's a pipe dream, not going to happen. That didn't help. So in their case, they needed loans. And in fact, the beach, that's how they got bailed out, which is almost, doing a great job getting done. But the beach had to get bailed out from another corporation. I mean, there's several times that have happened. They're not the only ones, um, but these guys, Larimar has enough money from the 800 units they sold. Well, has a value of, like I said, 150,000 is the average I use. Has a value of 120 million. But in their terms, they've only collected uh, the whatever. Let's see, 120 million. They've only collected, let's say, what is that? What do I want to use? 35. Yeah, it's 30. No, it's 40%, 120 million. So I can almost figure it out pretty close. Times 40%. That's the max that they could collect if everybody paid $48 million. But see, everybody's not paying because there's no way. September was supposed to be delivery. Obviously, that can't happen. So a lot of people already stopped sending in money. So their 48 million is not 48 million. It's probably half that, I would guess. And now they have to have new customers to pay. And now, how much is it going to cost them to build towers? 17-floor towers. Well, 16 floors, and you have to have a roof on the 16th floor. That's why I call it 17. So how much is it going to cost? I have no idea, but I know it's not going to be like $1 million. It's going to be a few million. Just in cement could be a mill. So I don't know what they're going to do. They're getting loans though. That's the story, the guess. So they had to be leveraged. Not really. No, they didn't have to be. That's the point. Remember, all they were basically pre-construction is thin air. You're signing a contract, prepaying them. So therefore, they have 10% of the money up front. Then you add monthly, or 15% or 20%. Then you add almost 1% a month. So over a 24-month period, you gave 40%, 50%, depends. But that's free money coming in because they didn't have to spend the money on building. They did have to spend the money on acquisition of land. And in most cases, again, they're borrowing. Most cases, they're making a deal with the owners of the land saying, hey, I want to get control of your land. The guys say it's $1 million. They're saying, oh, well, can I give you $100,000 and I'll pay you whatever, 10,000 a month. I don't know what the deal is, but let's just use that. And so they don't own the land outright because why spend the full money when you're having money coming in? That's the point. It's no sense. You're just going to make, and a lot of people do those deals in the DR and on islands and things like that. That's how the deals are done. That's why on the island, when they say title is delivery is going to be a set date, and then after people get their notices, then they start going, well, we don't have title yet. No, you don't have title because you had that payment plan with the actual owners of the land. You never transferred title in your name. That's going to be another year and a half. So that's the answer on why people are going, why don't I have my title? Then people are moving in like at the beach without title. A mistake, but that's what they're doing. Some people paid off their loan, don't have title. Simon Residences, number 2 in Primavera, sent something last November 2024 saying, by mistake to me, sending out saying, hey, we have delivery of your unit. And then in that same letter, it said, but it's going to take us a few months to get the title. I was like, I know it is because you don't own the land probably. You have a land deal. So these are the kind of things. The gas station example didn't make sense. Yes, it does. It goes against the loan thing. So would you get a loan for $2.5 million is the point I was trying to make. No, you make profit from the business inside too. So it would make much more sense instead of spending 2.5 and having to pay for all of the expenses for everything. Why now would you not just pay rent for the actual owner of the store and give him $5,000 a month? If anything happens, somebody pulls off with the pump still in their car, they pay it. So in that case, I wouldn't recommend getting a loan for this, nor would I recommend paying $2.5 million because now you have liability beyond versus the one where you could just rent and not have any liabilities for the upkeep of the very expensive equipment, signage, and all that. But let's go another route. Because I left off the end part. So let's just say you find a gas station that's debt free, as you call it. The owner of the land owns the land, the gas station, and everything, free and clear. Is that debt free? I guess. Um, but he didn't want to spend the 400,000, 300,000 to upgrade the signage, the canopy, or anything. So he says, forget that part. So the new guy comes in and he has to hook up with the gas stations, and he says, "Hey," calls up the gas company and says, "Hey, I got a gas station over here that I want to get into, and you guys can bring in the gas. You control everything, but I need $500,000 for rehab money. I got news for you, MD. That $500,000 is not a loan. That is actually money to use to rehab with the new signage, new stuff, new equipment, new everything at no cost, no additional cost. In fact, if it costs 300,000 to do it, you get to keep the 200,000. Just saying. So if you call that free and clear, then yeah, okay. But all I'm saying is there's many ways you can do some things and I guess be debt free if you call it that. It's all right. It sounds like they're leasing to avoid ownership. It's not to avoid, it's economic sense. You understand? Well, you have to understand, right? If the pumps go out, they're thousands of dollars, right? Replacement of them. You guys know when you go to a gas station and sometimes the pumps are the older ones may not take the wipe swipe of card, may have them videos in them still and all that. Those are older pumps. The reason why they're not being replaced is because it costs the owner 50, $100,000 or more, and tanks they have to be replaced. It's no like 5 grand. This is expensive to replace those, and the whole system has to be replaced, tearing up concrete and everything else. That's not cheap. So why would you take ownership that way from a business standpoint when you can still get an upgrade from the gas companies at their cost because they're happy because you're gonna sign a contract for them to deliver that gas to you, get a commission, I hope. So why would you take the whole thing? That would make no sense. But people still try to sell them, and a few people buy them. But most of the guys that I was talking to, they're like, I don't want to own those. We would be responsible for this stuff. All it takes is one time, and your hundreds of thousands of dollars is you gotta pay out. Otherwise, your gas station shut down for gas. Your convenience store situation might be open, but nobody's coming. So it's an ecosystem, right? Okay, so that can be done with cash or debt for the same result of leasing. Yeah, but again, in this case, why would you get a loan? I mean, you want to get a loan for 2.5 million, 3.5 million, or one that came up in Vegas, $17 million loan for, I don't remember, 10 stores, let's say, 10 gas stations. You want to pay cash? Be my guest. I can guarantee you nobody's going to be paying cash. Nobody. Larimar overestimated the sales and underestimated the cost of start and the delay for permits. You can argue they moved too fast with phase two without having phase one permits completed. Yeah, Larimar, they're I I question. They're on the Spain Stock Exchange. I question what they are doing, were doing, are doing. The only reason I question it is because it makes no sense. Here we are, year 2022, 2025, 36 months ago. Delivery was supposed to be at the end of this month. They have now just now put down a foundation, I believe, on the lower level. In fact, I haven't even seen too many pictures about Larimar. So I don't even know if they even have first under. I guess it's underground, like they said it was going to be. I don't even know if they have the underground done. I don't even know if they started floor one. I don't even know anything about what they're doing, nor do I really care. But the fact of the matter is, I don't. They didn't have permits, and they lied to us. Or I shouldn't. Maybe lying is harsh. All I know is December 2023 when we're in their office, and they were saying, "Well, when are you going to start building?" Because it's like less than 2 years. They're like, "Oh, well, all we need is one piece of paper, and we expect to have that sometime this month because we're there at the beginning of December, December 4th, 5th, 6th, something like that." So that's when they said, we'll have the piece of paper this month. Well, because I was doing the SSN Lifestyle Funacana Investors Forum and Music Fest, I went back in January because I needed to start getting things ready. So I go back in January, I go to their office and I say, hey, man, I thought you guys were going to start building in December. Well, we had a little problem. I was like, yeah, but you said you were expecting the paper this month, or you even had a caveat saying, well, maybe the worst case, January. Well, I'm here at the end of middle of January. What's happening? Nah, we don't have anything. What do you mean? What's the slowdown? What's happening? What's going on? They would never say. Come to find out, September 2024, September, mind you, we get a email talking about, oh, well, finally, we got an impact, environment. I call it environmental impact report. They call it environmental something there. But that's basically what it was because they had to make sure that, you know, the flowers, the plants, they have endangered trees that if you take those out, you got to replace them somewhere or leave them. So we're talking about, what was it, 700 acres or something? So if people knew that you needed an environmental impact to get approved before you can do anything, obviously they didn't say anything. This whole time, said nothing. After I'm there in May, after we're there in March, I go by there, right? I say, hey, what's going on, man? You guys said stuff was going to start happening December, January. Now here it is, March. But they knew all along. So that's why I say they lied, because I was like, why didn't you just say you're trying to get your environmental impact? Because then I would have said, oh, you don't have that already? Okay. Well, you got six at one time they had 680 acres. Now I think it's 800 or something. But anyhow, you have 600 and some acres or more. That is not something you can do in a day or a week. I mean, and it's like a jungle in some areas out there. So who's going to do this survey of all this stuff? That's going to take months. You would have known that from the get go as soon as they said environmental impact report. So that's one of their problems. They don't come forward with what they should be saying. So now you have a lot of people who may or may not be paying them, a lot of people who don't care. They don't have the momentum that they once had. So all they can do is market to new people and then hope that they don't run into people that have already purchased there or come into the realtors who start talking bad about them, which a lot of realtors talk bad about them. So that's why, again, they lost the momentum from that. They say, no, it's just a scam. I heard it all. It's a scam. It's never going to happen. That's what 90% of realtors are saying. And look at where we're at right now. It's going to be 2026 and a year from now in floor 3 or some crap. Credit. Better than invest in the States. You won't have those issues. MDA, man, you don't know where you live. You don't know where you live. You don't realize in America there are pre-construction projects, Texas, Florida, all over America that people entered in pre-construction loans, and in their paperwork they have either party can cancel on delivery. So you know what happens, right? Those $250,000 nice homes that they got, and now they're worth $550,000. The developer says, we cancel. Here's your $250,000 back. And they sell the house to somebody else for $550,000. Yes, in America. You can Google, you can find it. It's happening as we speak. You can also find in America Lennar, D.R. Horton, building whole subdivisions, crack foundations, bathrooms not completed or done up to codes. People, foundations are cracking, open floors, brand new homes, less than a year old. They will not go in and fix it. So there's lawsuits. Yeah, it's the same thing in America. You don't know where you live. That's the point. Everything that happens there happens here. There's pre-construction projects, there's developers where people buy new homes, put down their down payment, the developers nowhere to be seen, they go out of business. This happens in America. The frequency, I don't know, but it happens all the time. It's not like this is new. In 2008, 9, hundreds of developers went out of business. Hundreds, if not thousands. It was out of control. But it's happened over our time. Late 80s, it happened. In the 90s, it happened. It happens like every 12 years. We haven't had this happen in almost in 12 years. No, not 12. Yeah, 12 years. It's overdue for stuff to happen again. It should have happened already, but it has not. But anyhow, yeah, all the things that we're talking about with Larimar, it happens in America. It's not like, unfortunately, it's just that people expect better because we have a court system that allows people to address it in a timely manner versus Larimar. The only reason Larimar and all these companies exist in the DR longer than they should is because they don't have a legal system that people could, easily do class actions and things like that, like we do. Buy the land and build yourself. That's an interesting scenario. You do understand how? Okay. Once again, are we going to do a Dave Ramsey thing where you're going to say, I'm going to buy the land and then I'm going to use my own money to build it? Is that what we're saying? Again, no. You're going to get a construction loan, right? Right? Or is interest only for 1 year, 2 years, right? So you want to build uh, let's see, it costs I'll use today's numbers probably. I haven't built anything in the last 5, 10 years or not, but let's just say it's 350. Then I'm going to build a 550, $600,000 home. You're going to come out of pocket 350 G's, or are you going to go get a construction loan and pay interest only for your roughly less than 1 year at a 11%, 12% note, or you're going to come out of pocket 350? Most of the people go, I'll get the construction loan. Shout out to Brad Evans in Northern California. No qualifying. All you need is the land. BradEvans.com, I think it is. Shout out to him. He's still in business all these years, helps people. But yeah, you're going to get a construction loan, right? You're not going to come out of pocket 350 because what's going to end up happening is, what if you have to pay extra? Because remember, the bank gives you draws based on the development of the situation, right? Because they start laying it out. Here's your foundation. Here's some money. Here's the framing. Here's some money, right? When you pay with cash, then the contractors are talking to you and they just go, well, okay, this is going to cost us X amount. We need some money. Fine. If you want to give it to them, that's your business. I'm just saying, that's not a good business model, in my opinion. No. Bank issues the money when it gets approved. So you need to handle this. Not giving you nothing. Simple. So anyhow, you can buy land and build it yourself. Yes, taking high risk in this day and age, because remember, you're relying on contractors to be honest. They have to be honest, right? I'm just saying, whoever builds your house, they have to be honest. And unfortunately, it's getting less and less a thing to be honest in America when it comes to doing buildings. So you have to do by reputation. And quite frankly, I was just out looking at houses today. One's by Pulte, one's by Toll Brothers. Both my favorite builders. The difference, though, is Toll Brothers used to be upscale, luxury, semi-custom when they built 4,000 square foot homes. Now they're like I was looking at it today and I was like, man, what's happening here? These are $2 million homes. And they have in Pulte, I'm disappointed. I mean, I was like, what's going on, man? You don't even have any woodwork in the edge of the ceilings. You don't have any baseboards. You don't use those anymore. I'm like, what's going on around here? They have plenty of this cheap ceramic. They have plenty of stuff that looks like that goes on a floor, wood floors on the ceilings. I'm like, of course nobody's gonna get this crap. The ceiling's gonna be white. The floor is gonna be this probably cheap garbage ceramic, but it's a $2 million home. I'm looking at other stuff. I'm like, you're gonna have a $2 million home with freaking 12-inch tiles. Shouldn't they be like 18 at least? I mean, what is going on around here? But it's beautiful, right? You go in there, everything looks beautiful, but is it? What's these cabinets made of? I mean, these are the type of things that we're dealing with right now in America. People are doing this on the guise of upscale. You're going to pay 2 million, man. Neighborhoods 2 million. I'm still in shock. 2 million, 4,000, 3,500 square feet, $2 million homes. Nothing. I mean, they're spectacular. They have them hooked up spectacular. I'll put it that way. And if somebody wanted to get it looked like that, they're probably going to be $400,000 to $500,000. They're going to pay just in the furnishings, the materials, what they show as models probably cost 500,000, 400, 500,000 easily. These homes are big. They're well, they are overwhelming. What Toll Brothers? They're custom homes. Yes, definitely upscale. Yes, the Toll Brothers was better than Pulte. Pulte's not Pulte from like 80. Sorry, from the 90s to the mid 2000s until the real estate bust. They used to build some badass stuff. They're my guys. Um, I see the Pulte plate would be on my property. I'm like, those are the guys. Now they're still nice, but it's almost like you can tell they don't do the same thing. They they all I'm saying is it just seems a little less, even though it looks nice. I mean, I should show you guys some. Well, I can't show you pictures, but let me see if I have pictures of some. I have video. I did video, but you guys would be shocked because I know what the Pulte how they used to build, and I didn't see their standard things. Let me see if I have. Uh, I can't really show you guys. These are all videos, and I have people in the videos. Yeah, I can't show you the videos. You guys might see some on social media. All right, just to show them on the. This is up in Summerlin. It's Summerlin. It's called Ascension. Ascension. That's where it's at. It's crazy. Yeah, and actually, Toll Brothers, they're like my Pulte's now number two because Toll Brothers came out like 10, 12 years ago in Cali. And the stuff that I saw where I used to live, I was like, oh my God, I want that one. And they won it 1.1 mil. And it was right by the golf course, by like 17th hole, I think it was. But it's badass. I fell in love with Pulte. I mean, Toll Brothers. At the time, 1.1, that was, pretty pricey. But now that same house is 2 mil or something. But I was like, I'd give up mine for that one. Then I go back to mine and I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I don't care about being by the golf course. I care about seeing mountains from 50 miles away, clear. I don't want to see a golf course. And my house was just as big. So just as nice. But let me see if I can. It was Ascension. If you guys want to see some of this stuff, Toll Brothers, Las Vegas. Yeah, it was Ascension. They have sections in this thing too, which is crazy. Sponsored. I wish I knew what section it was. Okay, here we go. Toll Brothers, Ascension, Las Vegas, three luxury collect. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, look at you're going to see something that's crazy right now. You're going to see something. Okay. This right here. These are one levels. 3,400, 3,800, one levels. They're badass. I got to show you guys this. I got to show you guys this. Yeah, he goes cash for sure. If someone wants to use debt, I would say use assets for the loans. I just believe too many people over leverage put themselves in bad situations. MDA 0214, you're right. That's the ultimate thing. But here's what the other factor is that you keep forgetting about. When you use your own cash, if you make a mistake or something bad happens, you that cash is gone. Versus if you have a loan and something bad happens and you still have the cash, now you can infuse that cash into help you out. You following it? That's the way I look at it. So whenever somebody says land and home, I say, okay, construction loan, right? Straight up. Why use your own money? Because stuff is going to come up, right? You don't want to keep going back to your own cash. And then your cash is expended. Now, all of a sudden, you're sitting there with half-ass stuff done, telling a company, hey, I need a construction loan. So, I mean, that's just the way I look at it. It's so easy. It's not like it's so easy to do. You don't have to do anything. So I'm going to be on here for a little bit while longer. Check out this Ascension, though. This is insane. This is insane. When you go inside, this places they're furnished so cool, so cool. I mean, they did the damn thing. I got to give them credit. This is so badass. I got to give them credit. These are the ones I saw today. I think this looks like one of them. Yes, that's a 3-car garage. Yep, that's them. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Are they going to show me these models? Yep, look, 36. Look at this. You guys see this price right here? You see this? Look at this. Actually, these are not 2 mil. They're 2.1 now. 3,600. I don't think I saw this. Oh, I was at. I think I was here. I think I was at this High Rock. Yes. You could see the strip from here. High Rock. Yep, this is where I was. Right here. Yep, this is them. Okay. Let's see. Do we have anything here? These are. I think this is a rendering, but they're one levels. Let me see. Do they show the inside of these things? This was one of them. That was like almost probably 5 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet wide, like a lap pool kind of thing. They had one that's pretty cool. I mean, all of them are cool, but look at this stuff. You can see on the left hand side, open. This new type of kitchen island with this big old geesh dining table. Yeah, this is 2 million though. These are crazy. Oh, they don't even show much. Oh, wait. Here we go. I saw the screen. There we go. Here we go. Site plan finance gallery. Here we go. Check it out. No. That's not what it looked like. Here's what it looked like. Similar. Let's see. Yeah. This is one of them right here. This is one of them. Look at this. So see out the window, you can see down here is the strip. That's why they call it High Rock. But this is impressive. These ceilings they seem to be 20, at least 20, probably 22, 23 feet high. But you can see right here what I'm talking about. They put this wood paneling and all this up here. This is pretty sharp. I got to give them credit. Sharp. Same house. This place is insane. One whole wing of one house is the master. It's insane. This right here, unbelievable. When you walk in the front door, to the right side is this little seating area with this little kitchenette area because there's a bedroom over here on the right hand side and full bath. So this is like, I don't know, a door to the bedroom and a door to this entry. So it's almost like your own private area, I guess. Um, oh, this is another bedroom. In fact, this might be the master. I can't remember. But again, you can see the strip in the background. Las Vegas Strip. Pretty sick, actually. Not saying that, but here's the grand living room again. This is crazy. The master's down here, and it takes up this whole side behind here. It's insane. This is insane. They did whoever designed this is pretty good. Look at this. Master, this is not a mirror. There's a sink on this side and a sink on that side. And then Toll Brothers has this thing about dual showers, but in this case, no dual shower. And then their big tub as they usually have, without jets. Key phrase, without jets. You know my pet peeve for not having jets. Uh, yeah, there's golf courses around. Yes, yes, yes. That's why they have a golf cart for the one parking. Okay, so that's one of them. They don't even show it well enough. I have better pictures than these guys. So anyhow, that's one of them. I don't know which one it was. Let's see. Let's go gallery again. Let's see. Oh, they don't even really show anything. What kind of sale type of deal is this? And yes, they have an amenity center. Can you believe this? This is their amenity center. That's what they're calling it, not a clubhouse. Amenity center. It's not built yet. Pickleball courts, golf simulator, fitness room, basketball court across the street, by the way. I saw it. It's already made. Event lawn, social lounge, walking, biking, clubhouse. Now, they're saying clubhouse, but it's amenity center. Event room, fire pit, because that's what they're calling it there. They don't call it a clubhouse. Uh, it looks just like a house, but this is the amenity center. It's crazy. Um, it's crazy design. All right, enough. I'll end that, ladies and gentlemen. Went to Pulte too. I won't show any more else. But anyhow, MDA, I love the conversation, man. Thank you so much, everybody that's been here. I appreciate it so much uh, for your convo. And I'm going to wrap this up. Have to go. All right. We got into some things I didn't really want to get into, but it's all right. If that happens, that person took on way more than they could afford, or their estimations were way off. I'm not saying empty your savings on one deal. May need to build small and slowly grow. Yeah, exactly. I'll give you a perfect example because once you do the construction loan, it's other people's money, right? After you finish the construction of the house, it's under construction loan, then it automatically can be not automatic, but it's going to be transferred into a mortgage, right? But the idea is if you're building it to sell, you're actually selling it during the construction process, right? But now when you finish it, you sell it, and that's where you get money out of thin air, right? And you didn't have to risk any of your own. See, that's the point I'm trying to make about that. You're not risking any of your own money, and yet you get the profit. And that's where you want to be, right? Don't risk any of your money. You're willing to take less. You took less. You paid interest of 300,000. It had to pay like $2,500 a month, 30 grand. But after the house is built, you made like 350 grand. So it's worth it to use other people's money because you still have 300 grand coming, 320, 300, whatever. So that, why are you going to risk your own money? You're still going to make 300 grand, or even if 250, it does not matter. You're still making money is the point without risking any of yours. So you still have that duffel bag of cash sitting there. And now you have more funds to throw in. That's the way when it comes to this house situations. So I agree with you. The land is what you're going to buy, ladies and gentlemen, when this meltdown occurs, because home prices will go down eventually. And when home prices go down, land prices go down. So you'll be able to pick up land yourself cheap. So be on the lookout for land. Remember, discountlots.com, the prices they're charging right now for taking over payments with no credit check, that's a good deal. But in about a year and a half, there may be opportunities where you can get some cheap land under contract. And once again, payment plan. Again, why spend the money out of your pocket when you don't have to? Because you can actually have a payment plan and still do a construction loan. Just saying. So why would I that's in the real estate game. There's options for that. But just so you know, okay. Uh, Post retirement travel. Wahoo, that's luxury living. You probably have $500,000 in furniture and features inside. Exactly. That's what I was saying. If somebody wanted to keep that, it's going to cost, in order to duplicate it. It's like that to me. It's 400 to 500,000. And everybody, when they walk in that house and they see that, they're looking all around, and you're like, for me, I'm like looking around like, all this is going to be white. It's just going to be white ceilings unless you're going to pay these guys. You're just going to have all this is white. This is not what you're seeing right now. It looks gorgeous, but if you want to duplicate this, you either have to buy this house, which is going to be up for bidding because they're going to include the furniture, or you should be including the furniture, and or 400 minimum. I think it's 400 G's minimum for that. If you just seen every room, they did an awesome job. In fact, I'm trying to think, was this the house? No, not this one. The next house over has an actual casita, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, kitchenette unit. As soon as you walk in the front courtyard area, there's a casita to the right. That house is 1.9. It costs less, but then again, it's a little smaller by a few hundred square feet. But it was 1.9 with the casita. I was like, are you serious right now? Okay, separate unit. But I was like, forget that. Why have a separate unit when the way they built, the Toll Brothers did the best thing you can do. The whole wing on one side is crazy. It's the, I always call the master bedroom, but master bedroom suite. It's sick. It's sick. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave. Has walk-in closet, his, hers. It's got uh, your bedroom area with a probably I'd say 15 by 16 area. And then on the other side of that, they got another like 10 by 10 room that's just sitting there. It's insane. It's insane. Like they had a bicycle in it just to be like, here's a, here's a, not a bicycle, but the fitness bike. They had a fitness bike in there. And I was like, okay, because I'm like, what am I going to do with this big room over here that's in my bedroom? Never leave, because I just post up my probably a desk up back there and do business. I'd never leave. The washer and dryer was right outside the master bedroom side. So everybody else on the other side of the house has to come down here to wash clothes. I started laughing. I was like, oh, this is funny. It's supposed to be the other way around. But I kind of like it. I got the master bedroom down here. I just walk out my door, turn to the left. There's the washer and dryer. Everybody else got to come across the whole house to wash and dry their clothes. That was funny. Uh, but it was the Toll Brothers. They moved to my number one now, as far as builders go in America. They've been that for a while because Pulte slacked off on homes made after 2009, 10 until even now. I look at their house and, like I said, because they still use the design cues of the homes from before, but they've changed it. They have some sort of different lever system that's in place because they have 20 some foot ceilings all the way around. Every room is 20-foot ceilings. It's crazy. And it also begs the question, what's your energy bill going to be when it's 110 outside, when you have ceilings that are 25 feet in your whole house, 20 to 25 feet in the whole 3,800, 4,000 square feet? Yikes. That's crazy. Crazy. All right. MDA0214, good talking to you. Learn to trade and stop with the bots. Educate yourself and manage your own trades. Oh, MDA, you missed out on that part. Yes, that's what I was talking about. I was taking time to learn how to trade myself without using the bot. You got that right. That's where I realized there was some opportunities that I could take advantage of. But since I didn't know how to trade, I was studying. So that's what I've found out. So I was telling people I'm not going to do anything until next Thursday night, even though I'm still going to use the bot properly. But in the meantime, I'm learning more on the trade situation. So I'm getting up to speed. All this time, my friends used to go, "Hey, man, you could do this and all that." And it just seemed weird to me. Now I'm like, oh, this is okay. Now I know what the executions are. Now I got to learn some other things along the way, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next 5 days. So when next Thursday come, I'm probably going to use the bot, but I'm also going to do something else. I'm going to do some trades myself. I'm going to be testing all that too. But I have a demo. So I'm going to be testing the demo because you are right about the bot. Since they do auto trades and there's, an auto trade as we speak, like every time, every second or two, there's another kick, kick, kick. They're buying, selling, doing all that. But see, they're not all positives, right? That's one of the things. They're not all positive trades. The more positive than L's ends up being profit. But that doesn't guarantee you anything. So the question is, do I really want to have that going when I can easily see from the charts and everything that I should be putting in my own trades and creating my own point, maybe 0.8s or 0.7s or ones myself. So, and then I experimented with it the late night when I was doing it. And yeah, there was some things where I was like, okay, it came up, like $14. I was doing like, I think it was 0.03s, 0.04, something like that. So I was just like, okay, that's pretty good. A small movement, $14. I could have been doing this the whole time for doing the trades myself. So I could have done maybe 10, 12 trades and made profits without having to do the bot thing that's giving me negatives and positives. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. Thank you, MDA, for that, because you are absolutely right from what I'm learning. That's when I started looking at it going, wait a minute, I can do this manually. Let me go check out some manual trades tonight. So some of them worked out. Like I said, I think I lost on I can't remember. I think it was 8 out of 10. I mean, not lost. 8 out of 10 were positive that I actually tried on my own. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I think I can do this. Especially once I realized another thing too. I didn't realize I can enter near multiple positions at the same time. So I was like, wait a minute, I can do exponentials? Oh, they didn't let the cat out the bag. If I could do exponentials and the market moves up and I got several positions in there at once, similar to what the bot does, but I didn't realize how quick I could do it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I can actually do multiple positions right now if I want to. The question that I now have, which I didn't try, was I wanted to find out the leverage positions. Can I move those based on entering a trade and then my next trade I can change it? I don't know yet. I think I can, but all this is new to me. We'll see. I'm going to be doing a demo thing on Sunday night or Monday. So because I changed my clock. So it's not just using London Stock Exchange and the early morning for the New York Stock Exchange. I'm doing, I just ran it 24, so I can do my demo 24. I finding out how I can manipulate or change the software to do what I needed to do. I'm like, okay, learn a little every day. We'll keep it going. Day trading is risky, but swing trading isn't as risky. That's what I'm referring to exactly. The swing trading. Time reduces the risk. Exactly. Better chance of your trade correcting itself. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I was, like I said, I didn't realize the bot was doing, okay, some computerized nonsense in reality, not taking consideration certain things and giving you an overall picture of, yeah, you can be profitable, but the I don't, we took a couple L's. So uh, it's kind of like you can actually minimize your L's and maximize your wins, I feel. And we'll see, because I still haven't, I kind of get it and understand it now, but I'm doing studying still. Like you said, you got to study, man. That's what I tell everybody. You have to study, especially like me. I don't know anything about trade. I'm going from zero because I've always refused to trade because whenever I looked online, I would see guys just trading, and then I find out they can actually have hotkeys. So they're sitting there going, "Yeah, don't you see that trade?" And I'm like, "Where? You didn't do anything." Or it appeared that they didn't do anything, but they're doing stuff, hitting a hotkey or something. And I was like, man, I can't learn like this. He's not really telling me. I don't understand the lingo either. I was like, I mean, I know short and all that, but still, I didn't see any activity happening. I didn't realize there was some lines or something that came in was actually a trade. You follow what I'm saying? I didn't know what it looked like, and nobody ever explained it. So I was sitting there like, okay, I don't see anything. What's he talking about? He entered a trade. I didn't see anything pop up, enter a trade or nothing. Okay, well, it's explainable because he has hotkeys, or he's got something else. I don't know what it was, but I didn't see anything on the screen that indicated there was a trade. So no pop-up screens, no nothing. And I was like, what's he keep saying? He entered a trade. I don't see nothing. I see lines. Yeah, sure. Okay, great. But I don't see nothing that indicates there's a trade happening. So that's what it was like for me. And so right now I'm on MT4. I don't know what MT5 is, but that's what I'm on MT4. So we'll see what happens, man. But thank you very much for that advice. I'm going to take it because no matter what you're in, you got to always get education under your belt. And it's an ongoing thing. No matter what you're doing, there's always ongoing education. So, with all that said, I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget that smash that like button on the way out. And also, we're back monetized, which is kind of cool. All right. So make sure that you sometimes watch advertisements. All right. You guys might not have seen any advertisement, but you will after the replay starts. All right. Just so everybody knows, there will be video advertisements rolling out um, when we do a replay. Just so you know, because the advertisements were off as long as I was running this live stream. But that's about to change because when we do replays, uh, you know what that means. Oh, I'm still live. So I got to do a schedule. Automatic, these guys are off the charts. Automatic is outrageous. These guys, they allow you to do videos like every it sets it up on automatic every like 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes. So, like right now, I just set it up. It's going to be every 30 minutes. There'll be a commercial. This is a 3-hour video. So you'll have advertisements every 30 minutes. So, and then they have something down here. Show ads to viewers at different times. Okay, whatever. Uh, but there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And I appreciate the advice too. I heed advice, especially when somebody MDA probably trades. I think he does. And so we talked about it before. So he's giving that advice, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do my demos. I'm going to study up, learn some things. I got into some people were sending me messages talking about trade signals, this, that, and the other, which I'm not really into yet because I still don't understand fully how to trade how I want to. So I think I have room for improvement. So we'll go and find out over the next 5 days. But at least I'm up to speed with what I'm looking at. I know what I'm looking at. I know because I never saw an MT4 before. That software, other than on people's screens. But since I never pulled it up personally, okay, I figured everybody had their choice, different choices. Now I realize, okay, it's pretty much standard. And now I understand how to get, different things going on. So anyhow, we'll talk about this on Wednesday night, 8:50 p.m. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, but no matter what happens, you got to be on point for the next 1 year, 3 months. A lot of things can happen over the next 1 year and 3 months, but the one things you're going to need: assets, a little gold, a little silver, a little crypto, your credit, again, 775 and higher. You're going to need it. Make sure you get it. Also, stocks, blue chips, rise and shine. You should be there, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention. Dividends, JEPQ, JEPI, forgot about that. Real estate investment trust. I'm always high on that whenever they start trying to F with the interest rates, the federal rate, because they have inside trading, so to speak. And what I mean by inside trading, they're able to do inside loans with the federal government and with the federal government's banks. So they don't get mortgages like we do. They get to borrow money from the banks directly, and the bank goes, oh, well, okay, it's 3.75% to you or 4% to you. Well, if they had a loans of hundreds of millions of dollars of 5%, just 1 percentage point helps them. A half a point helps them, right? So that's what they do. More profit. Their stock price should rise. We'll see what happens uh, if what I'm thinking happens. But again, my thought process may not be yours. So you have to, do your own investments your way for your investing style. Mine is different than most. But once again, thank you, everybody. Be safe this weekend because a lot of people are under stress and duress. You never know what somebody's going through or what their family's going through. So you always have to stay calm, kind, nice, sweet, honorable, no matter what you do out here. It comes back to haunt you. And with all that said, make sure you keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.